Salutations! Welcome to Pod Mortem. I'm Travis Hunter, joined as always by my co-host, my sister, and my brother-in-law.
Hi, I'm Reneé Hunter Vasquez.
Hi, I'm John Paul Vasquez.
This week, we're broadcasting live from Haddonfield Memorial Hospital discussing the 1981 slasher sequel, Halloween 2. This film was directed by Rick Rosenthal off a screenplay by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. Following the massive success of the 1978 horror classic Halloween, Carpenter and Hill pinned the sequel as a conclusion to the Michael Myers and Laurie Strode story. After Carpenter refused to reprise his role as director, he handpicked Rosenthal to do the honors. Although the film incorporates more graphic violence to compete with its slasher contemporaries, Halloween 2 maintains much of Carpenter's style, with most of the cast and crew returning for another outing. On a production budget of almost 8 times the original, the film proved to be a financial success, and despite mixed reviews from critics, is widely considered one of the better sequels in the franchise. This film won a poll over on Twitter to determine which sequels we would continue next. Be sure to follow us at the Podmortem to participate and stay up to date. So, Halloween 2. What were your first impressions on the film?
I just want to say right now that I really enjoyed this movie.
I'm glad to hear it.
Me too.
I think I might have enjoyed this just a little more than the first one. There is some things that are very wrong, but I feel like
Very wrong.
and it sucks saying it because I know they had to compete with other slashers or whatever, but I enjoy this being a slasher movie. You know what I mean? It's just straight slasher. And I like it.
I'm glad that you like it. I'm surprised that you enjoy it more, but knowing you, I shouldn't be surprised.
No, I was going to say, if you really think about it, it makes
very
on
perfect
brand.
sense.
Well,
Like, it's super on brand for you to prefer this.
I enjoyed it.
Well, I remember watching this when we were kids. We didn't watch it as much as the first one. At least I don't remember watching it as much as the first one, but I remember it, and especially one scene that you always laugh at.
Oh, yes.
I like it. It's a great slasher film. I don't know that it necessarily upholds Michael Myers the way that he was portrayed in the first one.
No.
And there's they tried to M. Night Shyamalan some shit that I really didn't appreciate that.
Right.
I didn't say everything was good.
That's my main beef with this film, and obviously we'll get to it when we get to it.
Right.
But overall, I like it. It's not like there's some sequels that it's like, what the fuck? But I can tell because I read that John Carpenter, like, he had to force himself basically to write it. I'm sure you have more information on that, but that he was just drinking and just trying to get it done.
Damn.
Basically, yeah. And I feel like when you put someone under that constraint, you can always feel it.
Yeah.
Fair.
And holding up these films side by side, because, and not to spoil anything, but it picks up right the fuck where the first one leaves off. You feel it. You feel that he's like, I don't want to do this.
That was a bit weird.
But I like it. All that to say, I like it. I don't love it. I like it.
I like it as well. I mean, my Halloween tradition, I always watch John Carpenter's Halloween followed by Halloween 2. Because of the way that it picks up, it's just the perfect double feature.
No, it flows right in.
I struggle to think of a better double feature original film to sequel back to back.
Yeah, Insidious 2 is pretty great.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And they might have gotten that from Halloween. But I've always liked it. I think doing that, watching it that way, may have clouded some of its flaws for me. Because I'm like, oh, it's the same fucking night. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we're just continuing.
Yeah, but I think that the difficulty is I love Halloween beyond measure.
Yeah.
Depending on the day you ask me, it's my favorite horror film or my favorite film ever made.
Right.
And so a sequel needs to kind of with what he had and what they went through, and I will explain in a minute, I think Rick Rosenthal did a pretty commendable job.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to live up to one of the best horror movies of all time.
Of course. And then, like, you were just saying, John Paul, about them having to compete.
Yeah.
Like, how fucked up is that we started this, y'all copied us, and now we have to compete with what you're doing?
Yeah, and it's
fucking crazy is that?
I would be so pissed off.
I mean, we talked.
I made you, dude.
Yeah. We just talked about Friday the 13th and how they were basically tracing fucking Halloween and to be like, oh, it has to be, we have to match that level of violence or whatever. It's like, no, you don't though. Like you don't though.
They were copying their homework and
and then now let me get yours.
Now
to copy
John Carpenter has an assignment too.
It's like, what?
But the crazy thing, like you had hinted at with him kind of having to force himself to write this thing, Carpenter and Hill did not want to do this.
Yeah.
They basically, depending on the sources, there was one that said they continued on with this production in order to allow for their creative input to be heard, because whether or not they were involved, they were going to make more Halloween movies.
Right.
Oh,
and so it's either we make it with you or make it without you.
I mean, if that's what it is, I would prefer to be involved because they're just going to fuck it up.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so the thing is that even after the massive success of Halloween, John Carpenter, at least, I'm not sure about Deborah Hill, did not make a lot of money off of Halloween. And so it's 1981, and he's like, maybe this is how I get what I'm owed. And so he was going to make The Fog in 1980.
Yeah.
And Yoblins, the producer of the original Halloween, he was supposed to produce The Fog. And so if you believe his story, because I never heard anybody else's side, Yoblin said that he told a producer at Embassy about The Fog and John Carpenter, and then a week later in the trades he reads that guy is producing The Fog for John Carpenter. I don't know how you can just do that. I personally don't know that I believe that story. But he said, so I had no choice but to sue Embassy and John Carpenter. And I'm like,
Come on.
what?
Yeah.
No.
And so the conditions of the lawsuit were that Embassy could make The Fog with John Carpenter on the condition that John Carpenter returned with Deborah Hill to write Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But he's like, I'm not going to direct it because he the thing was he didn't want to repeat himself.
Right.
He's like, I'll go, but I'm going to complain.
Exactly, yeah. But I'm not going to talk. But I mean, it's kind of, when it's born out of that, you can kind of tell that this is almost like a hired situation.
Yeah.
And like, this is, for me, about getting what I'm owed and trying my best to respect where this character, this idea came from.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, in my mind, have made a perfect film. If it's up to me, we're not doing any more.
Well, yeah, because they wanted that to be the end. That was it. Can you imagine if they never made another Halloween again?
That'd be nuts. And Tommy Lee Wallace, who was originally attached to direct this film, he had said that this is coming from a time, when you think of a slasher, you think of like 10 sequels.
Right.
It wasn't like that yet.
Yeah.
And so the idea of Halloween 2 was like, wait, what? And so he actually dropped out as a director. I saw in this Shout Factory documentary because he got the script and fucking hated it.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, he said that it was doing what everyone else was doing instead of continuing Halloween properly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, where's the lie?
I mean, I can't, I'm searching for the lie and I can't find it. But no, I mean, this is a good movie and we'll dive in. But I got some worries. Now, before we stalk this film through the halls, we would like to issue a warning for spoilers. Podmortem is a very in-depth podcast, and in thoroughly discussing horror films, we have no choice but to spoil a thing or two. If you don't wish to be spoiled, please go watch the film, then come back and enjoy the show. If you've already seen the film or don't care about spoilers, let's light it up. Now, this film relies heavily on having already seen Halloween. If you haven't, we'd recommend you go watch it or listen to episode 31 of our show as a refresher. So the film opens to the sound of Mr. Sandman by the Chordettes, along with on-screen text reading Haddonfield, Illinois, October 31st, 1978. So this song has become synonymous with this series. I, for some reason, always assumed that it was in the first film. I think it's all those goddamn double features.
Yeah,
But
you ruined yourself.
I did. It does not show up until this film.
I feel like this was a very clever song choice.
Yes.
And
Definitely.
I love the song already.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, all right.
I saw people criticize it and they're like, this has no thematic relevance in this film. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I totally disagree. And it's a great song until he starts answering and then it gets scary.
Dude,
What?
I was listening to the credits when they play it again and he's like, yes?
Yes?
I'm like, no.
Turn it off!
That's scarier than the film I just watched. But we get a shot of the trees swaying in the autumn breeze as the camera dips down to reveal the Doyle house on Halloween night. We're taken inside to see Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, seated on the floor with Tommy Doyle and Lindsay Wallace, played by Brian Andrews and Kyle Richards, respectively. In a shaky voice, having already been through quite a bit of hell, Laurie tells the kids that they need to leave the house, get down the street to the McKinseys, and tell them to call the police. She tells them to do as she says, and they leave the room. Laurie leans up against the door frame in exhaustion, her arm slashed and bleeding. Behind her, we see the shape rise up from the ground, turning his head to face her. We then see the kids bursting from the house, screaming into the night, where they are noticed by Dr. Sam Loomis, played by Donald Pleasance, who makes his way towards the front door of the house. Inside the house, Laurie stands only for the shape to respond in kind, slowly making his way toward her from behind. As she slinks into the hall, he grabs her and they begin to tussle. In the struggle, Laurie peels off his mask just as Loomis reaches the top of the staircase. After confirming that he is in fact Michael Myers, Loomis fires at him and he falls back into the bedroom.
Now, the mask, he was like, oh, he let her go.
Oh, he did.
And he was like, no.
Well, he's embarrassed. He's like, I don't want her to. What about secret identity, man? Like, Jesus Christ.
It's just rude.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, he was serious.
It's like, God, it's priorities.
Right. He's like, come on, you had to pull the mask.
That's a low blow.
Yeah.
Kick me in the nuts next time. Yeah. But Loomis rushes to the door frame, and we see the silhouette of the shape standing in front of the window. In the original film, we have that very awesome heavy breathing. Mm-hmm. It's not here. I thought that was very strange. But Loomis fires 5 more shots, and from the outside of the house, we see the shape stumble back onto a high balcony, falling flat onto the lawn below. Laurie uncovers her ears and in tears tells Loomis it was the boogeyman, to which he responds, as a matter of fact, it was. So all of this is archival footage from the first film.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that though. Like even on like TV shows where they're like, it's a season premiere and you're like, oh, I saw this shit last night. Like I love it. it's like, no, we're jumping right back in.
Yeah. I think personally it was the smartest choice because you're already set in this mood, knowing everything about the first film, knowing how it ended and just picking up.
Yeah.
Because I read the original plan, John Carpenter's first idea was to set it like 3 years after the events.
Right.
And Laurie's living in an apartment and like Michael Myers tries to get her at a high rise or some shit. Yeah.
And she's working at a magazine and like she tries to find time for love. Yeah.
But
it was a romantic comedy. Yes, exactly. And Matthew McConaughey was Michael Myers.
Yeah.
But I think this is one of the most successful things in the film. I did notice that it was scored differently.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little odd. Credit goes to John Carpenter and Alan Howarth, who I guess worked with Carpenter on Escape from New York and also worked with him on films, I think, Christine.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
So they have like a working relationship.
Yeah.
I saw in a featurette that dude literally had Carpenter's score and just overdubbed on top of it.
The score tears it up in this movie.
Yeah. It does.
They play it like in several different ways. It's just like remixes of the theme.
Well, they're like, how about a little,
we know what works, but
got a variety.
But make it synthesized.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what?
Now, I will
it all
admit,
works, though.
It does work, but I love the original tune the most. I can't. I do enjoy 80 synth. You know what it is? The original theme to me had like a eerie timelessness to it. This is from the 80s.
For sure it's from the 80s.
All I think about is the memes of Michael Myers dancing or when he's in the hammock.
Well,
when I hear it,
when he's doing that, that's what he's listening to.
I mean, he added a beat to it too.
He did.
It's a lot.
I do like it though.
It's not bad.
It tears it up, but you just want to start dancing. It's my theme song on my Animal Crossing island.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It sounds cute though.
It makes me think of that Chappelle bit when he's like, I don't want to dance, I'm scared to death. But with the first footage of the new film, Loomis rushes outside to find nothing on the ground but dead grass in the shape of a man where Michael crash landed.
Yeah, it's his full imprint.
It is.
Made me laugh.
Yeah.
I bet it's even like fingers and everything.
It's like a grass angel.
He hit with a grass angel. But Loomis steps out onto the lawn, feeling the ground in confusion, and pulls back a hand covered in blood. The music grows tense, as he said, it's fucking working it.
Yeah.
It is.
And a neighbor turns on his porch light in the background. The neighbor comes out asking what's going on. Loomis approaches him, telling him to call the police and tell the sheriff that he shot him. The guy is like, who?
Sir,
Yeah.
I'm running back to my house. This dude is casually belting up his robe.
Uh-huh.
What? No. Who?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you?
It's like, dude, you just woke me up.
Get your fucking ass inside.
But Loomis proclaims he's still on the loose. And the man asks if it's a joke because he's been trick-or-treated to death tonight. And Loomis responds, you don't know what death is. And then just flips a 180 and literally runs away.
It's so funny because as he does, or when he says that, the music kicks in
No,
and
it
it
does.
fucking takes off.
But he runs for like 5 minutes. He has a flair for the dramatic. I respect it.
It's more than a flare, I would say.
Another thing is I love that the neighbor has no idea what to tell the police. He's like, some guy in a coat said he shot someone.
I shot him.
But as we said, a very synth-heavy version of the Halloween theme begins to play, accompanying the opening credits. Similarly to the first film, we zoom in on the face of a jack-o'-lantern, only this time, the pumpkin splits open to reveal a skull in the flickering light. Thought it looked pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this a little bit off mic, but I do want to commend that seamless transition between the old film to the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it has a lot to do with Dean Cundy coming back as a cinematographer.
Yeah.
Because this looks like Halloween.
It does.
It does.
And it throughout.
Yeah. I noticed that watching it. I was like, damn. I was like, this movie looks good.
Yeah. And there are some very interesting shots we'll probably call out later.
Right.
One thing that's very interesting on that featurette that I watched, Dean Cundy said that he was actually supposed to be the cinematographer for Poltergeist.
Right.
And then he had to drop out of loyalty to Carpenter and Hill.
Wow.
That's good shit.
Yeah. His agent told him, because he's like, hey, I booked Poltergeist with Steven Spielberg. And he's like, oh, what about Halloween 2? And he's like, what's Halloween 2?
What the hell are you talking
Yeah.
about?
You can play with your friends later.
Yeah. But I respect, I guess, technically doing the honorable thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good man. But after the credits, we're treated to POV shots from the perspective of Michael Myers roaming the alleys of the neighborhood. Through heavy breathing, which is the standard.
His poor lungs. That's all I could think.
He's an asthmatic. I don't...
There's something wrong.
But he spies some children trick-or-treating, as well as a dog who barks loudly at him.
That dog scared the shit out of me.
Did it really?
Yeah. I jumped. And it's a dog like, you ate my brother.
Yeah.
You ate my brother.
The dog's lucky that Michael's not hungry.
Yeah.
Because he just walks away. Yeah. He's like, look, I had a snack at my house earlier. It's been a long night. But we hear police sirens off in the distance, and we see a car pull up at the end of the alley, lights blasting. Michael then sees Loomis approach the car, and he dips behind a house. He's like, that's the motherfucker that's been... But Loomis screams the iconic line, I shot him 6 times! Sheriff Lee Brackett, played by Charles Cyphers, is like, what?
What are you talking about?
Loomis repeats himself, saying he shot him in the heart. Brackett says he couldn't have gotten far, so Loomis gets in the car shouting again that he shot him 6 times, and Brackett says, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You just said that already.
Well, he did. He said it and then closed the door. I was like,
Yeah,
why?
it's like, God damn.
He wasn't done.
I guess if I shot someone 6 times, I'd be kind of shaken too.
Yeah,
I love everything about Dr. Loomis, and I just live for his chaotic energy because he has no chill. Like he's at fucking 100 all the time.
The entire film.
Yeah.
I was like, did Rick Rosenthal? He's like, look, now we all enjoyed what you did in the first film, but we're gonna need you at a 10, okay? But it makes me laugh every time. Before he gets into the car, Loomis goes, he's not human.
Yeah.
He's like, listen. Let's be clear.
As much as I love Loomis, I'm like, dude, see, this is the stuff you should be trying to get away from.
Yeah.
This is why no one believes you, man.
Learn from your mistakes.
But Michael watches the car pull away. He walks past a house, noticing a jack-o'-lantern in the window. As he approaches, we see Mrs. Elrod, played by Lucille Benson, making her husband Harold a sandwich. She does call out to him. She's like, you want mayo? You want mustard? I'm like, have you never has your husband never eaten a sandwich in your presence?
That's true.
But after getting no response from him, she heads into the living room to find him fast asleep as Night of the Living Dead plays on the television. As we've discussed numerous times on this show, for free.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because of those rights issues. Episode 17 of Pod Mortem, by the way. But in a POV shot, we follow Michael as he makes his way inside. The news interrupts the film as the reporter stands outside of the Wallace house reporting on the discovery of the bodies of Annie Brackett, Linda Vanderklok, and, well, Bob.
Yeah.
He didn't really get the... They don't say their names, but we all saw the first film.
Yeah.
Right.
He also tells of Michael's escape from Smith's Grove Sanitarium the night before. We watch as Michael, dripping blood, grabs the knife from the cutting board that Mrs. Elrod was using to cut the ham. Behind Mrs. Elrod, we see the Shape in all his glory, knife in hand, slipping out of the house.
He was in and out like a demon's whisper.
He dipped after
He
seeing
did.
the news.
Yeah.
He was like, nope.
Oh, shit, they're talking about me.
Right. Oh, shit, that's me.
He's like, I better do this quick because they're on my case. But the television, of course, then returns to the horror classic. I do want to say in this film, the Shape is played by a guy called Dick Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, laugh at his name if you must. No, I think he's great. There's a lot of very strange things about him being Michael Myers. The first thing of which is that he is shorter than Nick Castle.
Yeah.
And so they said, as you can see, when we
Yeah.
see him close up, the mask does fit differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read though that the mask, because it not only fits differently, it looks different.
Yeah.
Like I read that in the first film, it's the exact same mask
Yeah,
from the first
yeah.
movie. Nick Castle kept it in his pocket, and so it got like folded and wrinkled. And then Deborah Hill kept it under her bed after they finished wrapping. After they wrapped the film.
After their rap battle. I didn't see that scene.
Yeah.
It was deleted.
Oh, okay.
And she's such a heavy smoker that
Right.
it yellowed the mask.
Oh,
So
shit.
it's the exact same mask, but like dude's smaller. It's all
Yeah.
fucking folded and wrinkled, and it's yellow. So
Okay, I thought that too because I was like, damn, he doesn't look that big. I was like, is that
No.
the same guy?
he was
Yeah.
wearing
Oh, well.
lifts though,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and even like
you can tell.
On that featurette, he said that he got the part of Michael Myers because he had a meeting with Rick Rosenthal. And when he went to meet him, the mask and like something else were just sitting on a chair. And so he pops the mask on and he walks into the office and he just stares at Rick Rosenthal and he's like, who are you?
whatever you want.
Yeah. And then he does the tilt and then Rick Rosenthal's like, who are you? And he takes off the mask. He's like, it's me. But then they...
I'm your new Michael
Exactly.
Myers.
He said they had their meeting and then after the meeting, he's still holding the mask and he's like, what if I play this guy? And they're like, yeah, sure. Ask Deborah if she's fine with it. It's fine. That's how he got to be Michael Myers.
He did the equivalent of walking in a place and taking the help wanted sign off the door.
That's fucking
You don't
brilliant.
need this anymore.
Yeah.
I did see, according to Wikipedia, Dick Warlock was Kurt Russell's personal stunt double for over 25 years.
Oh shit.
And I was like, is Stuntman Mike kind of based on him?
Oh shit. And we love Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
We do love Kurt Russell. But Mrs. Elrod returns to the kitchen, reaching blindly for her knife, only to dip her fingers into Michael's blood. There's also blood on the sandwich. Sorry, Harold.
I was like, did he touch the sandwich?
Yeah.
He's like,
'Cause it was
no,
on the ham.
No, wait.
Right.
I saw a dog outside. I don't need a ham.
Is this dog meat?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just ham?
Oh, never mind. Not really into deli foods. But naturally, Mrs. Elrod screams.
Well, I mean, that's terrifying. I
yeah.
was about to say that's scarier than if he actually attacked them, but no.
No?
It's
Yeah, no.
They get to talk about it.
not, but that's still really scary. He was standing right, like, you
Yeah.
know, you turned your back for fucking 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying.
Well, the town of Haddonfield, they need to not leave their doors
Tighten it up.
unlocked.
Yeah.
Especially with, I mean, they have a history. 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean-
and that's not even far enough away for us to have forgotten about it.
No. Like, if something happened 15 years ago, I could tell you about it.
Yeah.
I also was laughing because at this point on the TV, she's like, "You're ignorant."
Yes.
I remember us laughing about that.
It's a great line. He was
It is.
ignorant.
He
Yeah.
was quite
He's very
ignorant.
ignorant.
Yes.
Johnny,
But
come on.
So was she.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 17.
Oh my God, I had problems.
But we watch as Michael continues on to the house next door. He watches as Alice, played by Anne Brunner, rushes out, screaming in concern for the Elrods, who she just heard fucking Mrs. Elrod screech. But when Alice gets no reply, she heads back inside, and the Shape watches her through the window as she gets back on the phone with her friend. She explains that she heard the scream, but says Mrs. Elrod is always on Mr. Elrod's case, So he probably decided to start beating her.
The conclusion.
Yeah.
And the fact
she's
that
like,
she
"It's
has no
fine."
issue with it.
I was like, what are you talking about?
It's like, damn, Alice.
Yeah.
But she tells her friend that her parents are gone and that she's home alone. Her friend is like, have you seen the news?
Yeah.
I do want to point out, because I think this might be the last time we hear her voice, the friend is played by Nancy Loomis, who played Annie Brackett in the first film.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
But Alice switches on the radio, and a woman tells of 3 teens who were killed in Northwest Haddonfield. Alice gets back on the phone to get more info from her friend when she really could just listen to the radio.
Right.
I mean, they were telling you everything. But behind her, we see the shape open the front door and let himself inside. Alice learns that the murders happened right down the street from her, and she can even hear the police sirens. I guess her friend still is talking, so I was wrong. But her friend shares the news that the guy got away, and suddenly Alice isn't so stoked to be home alone. She hears a noise and whips around to find that the front door is wide open. Instead of dipping out the side hatch.
Yep, that she just came in
Yeah.
through. Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would take the phone with me and just wait outside the house in the alley.
Yeah.
Right.
But she's like, who is it?
And then use that phone to call the police.
Yeah.
Especially when you just heard screaming next door.
And can we talk about
Yeah.
how who is it is the worst question to ask right now?
Yeah.
They're not at the door.
Right. And she just told us that nobody's going to help her because her parents are gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we
now
heard
you're
you say
fucked.
that.
Yeah.
Mm. But she inches her way to the door, and the shape just jumps out of the shadows, seizing her and slicing her throat in a quick jerk, blood spattering onto her face.
It's the jump up for
Yeah.
me.
I was like, where'd you come
where
from?
were you?
Yeah.
Were you behind the couch?
hiding?
Like what? This scene always scared the shit out of me as a kid. I think it's the way
It's 'cause it's so
he cuts her
abrupt.
throat.
Yeah.
It's the fastest throat cut.
It is.
That's got to be a world record.
Somebody call Guinness.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's pretty tame because you don't even see it happen. You just
No.
see the blood after.
Yeah.
I will say now, while it's not, of course, as violent as Friday the 13th,
No, it's not.
it's definitely, this is where we start to trend in that direction when compared to Carpenter's Halloween.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing that is very interesting, though, is this is one of many scenes that John Carpenter shot in reshoots himself. The thing that's very surprising to me about it is a lot of the gorier situations, the more close-ups, etc.,
Right.
were shot by Carpenter. They weren't
Alright.
Rick Rosenthal. He, in his mind, was trying to emulate Halloween.
Right.
Yeah.
But then Carpenter, I guess, kind of was like, look, we got to keep
He's
up.
like, did
Yeah,
you see Friday
wow.
the 13th?
Yeah.
And a kid got an arrow in the throat.
But how insulting would that be? I don't want to direct this. You direct it. Oh my God, move over. I'll do it
Yeah.
myself.
Well, the thing is, I think Rick Rosenthal took it in stride because in an interview, he's like, look, you have to understand the difference between being a writer-director, like an auteur director,
Yeah.
and kind of being a hired gun.
Yeah.
Right. I
You
mean, I
know,
guess.
He's like, I was pulled between John Carpenter, Deborah Hill, Yoblins, Dino De Laurentiis. He's like, I was just there. I just wanted to do a good job.
I feel like that's kind of an impossible job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like this was John Carpenter and Deborah Hill's baby, and they're like being forced to try to recreate it
Yeah.
while still having a hand in it, but while also taking a step back, but while you have the reins, but no, let me have the reins
Yes.
too. It's impossible.
Yeah.
He said there were scenes that he shot that he knew John Carpenter and Deborah Hill loved, but Dino De Laurentiis would hate, but then he had to fight for them to Dino. But then Dino's changes had to go back to the Carpenter
Oh
Hill.
my
Like, it's fucking, like, I do not envy this man.
Damn.
Not at all.
I do not envy him.
I felt bad for Dick Warlock as well because I read that I guess Deborah Hill was on set for a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
And he kept like asking if everything was good. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Obviously he wasn't in the first one.
Right. Right.
And so after everything, she was like, "Oh, he didn't even have the walk right. Like it wasn't like Nick Castle
Yeah.
at all." And he was like, "You were there. Like you
Yeah.
could have said something." I feel like
That's very
Oh,
hurtful.
man.
I feel like they probably weren't gonna like this movie no matter what
Yeah.
because it wasn't born of them; it was forced upon them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I feel fucking bad for
That
both of them,
sucks.
honestly.
That's a shame.
Yeah, and then have to go back and be like, well, and there's nothing you can do about it now.
Yeah.
No. It's like we can't reshoot it. Everyone's seen it.
No.
One thing I did want to point out before we press on to the next scene is in the first film, you kind of have to be told that it's a William Shatner mask,
Yeah.
spray painted white.
Yeah.
In the close up, when he cuts her throat, it looks like Bill Shatner.
Yeah. You can tell.
You can straight up tell. But police cars and ambulances arrive outside the Doyle house. We follow a couple of officers to the front door, and once they reach it, we see Laurie Strode being carried out on a stretcher as Laurie's theme from Halloween begins to play. First of all, great score.
Yes.
Because this, I think, was just the same score used again.
No synth.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Maybe my heart was playing the song and I just... But first of all, love seeing her back.
Oh, yeah.
I love seeing her back. I don't love seeing the wig.
Yeah.
Dude,
we need to talk about it
So
right up front.
One thing we know is that wig science had not peaked in 1981.
Man, I was kind of like, I was like, what the fuck is
What
that?
the
Yeah, I was
fuck?
like, oh, she's wearing a wig.
Like, is this a stage play?
Yeah.
They won't be able to tell from that far away.
She's clearly wearing a wig.
Yeah.
And I feel like once we see her better as it goes on, it's like,
Come
man,
on,
y'all
man.
didn't even try.
No, it's... But we follow two EMTs. The first, Jimmy, played by Lance Guest, and the second, Bud, played by Leo Rossi, as they load Laurie onto the ambulance. Jimmy hops in the back with her, telling her everything is going to be okay as Bud gets into the driver's seat. Laurie begs them not to put her to sleep, and we see the ambulance pull away, with Bud asking Jimmy if he knows her. Jimmy says he does, and that Laurie goes to school with his little brother Ziggy, and Bud's like, okay. Like, you asked.
Yeah.
Don't fucking ask me then.
No, but then isn't he like, oh, her dad's the realtor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny to me because he's like, yeah. And it was like, oh, I guess we better actually save her then. It's like, why does that matter right
If this
now?
was just a kid, we would
Yeah,
leave her on the side of the street.
I thought that too. I was like, why does that
That's
matter?
so weird.
But in the next scene, we're at Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. We see a mother parking her car and rushing to the passenger side where her son steps out holding a bloody towel to his face. She walks him to the entrance, but he drops the towel. We get a look at his face, and we see a razor blade sticking out of his mouth as blood pours out. She tells him to walk really slow and puts the towel back on his face.
Don't put the fucking
Oh,
parking lot
man.
towel back on his face.
It was the 80s.
No.
Right?
Oh, I'm sorry, it was 1978. It's the same night.
1978.
It's the same night.
Infections still existed in 1978.
No, not back
And,
then.
Hey, everybody knows germs were invented in
Yeah.
1995.
Listen, no, judging on what we see in this hospital, you take care of him outside because he's not going to get any help in there.
Not so much.
But
I was trying to figure out how the fuck he was eating the candy or apple for this to happen. Because if you want to hide, now don't listen to me.
are you speaking from experience?
No, this is speculation.
Uh-huh.
If you were to hide a razor blade in, say, a fun-sized Milky Way,
Right.
you would have to slide it into the side because otherwise it would be sticking out and nobody worth their salt would take a bite out of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Hello, police?
Yeah, I don't know.
God damn it. I've never tampered with candy, but all I'm saying is that if you're going to tamper with candy, I'm just kidding.
Do it right.
No, I will say, though, because even though it logistically doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
the idea of
Cute
having
little,
done it,
Yeah.
check your candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a smart idea. But I did, of course, I have this weird thing that if I see something in a movie, I think about it or imagine it and feel it and think of what it would
Yeah.
feel like. This is one of the worst feelings
Oh, yeah.
in the history of horror films.
Yeah. Oh,
Is that too much?
It's
Okay.
too much. That's like me. Wow, him taking the knife is leaving is worse than him killing them.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Why are we all hyperbolic today?
Like we got it. We got
Let's
that.
calm down.
We got that Dr. Loomis energy.
Yeah, pretty much. But another thing I did see in that Shout Factory featurette is that this hospital was very difficult to film in. It was not in use, but it was in Pasadena near an airport.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
And whenever the person told the production designer about that, they're like, "Oh, you hear all those planes? This is it at its worst."
Yeah.
That's a lie.
It was a lie.
Lie
Oh,
detector
man.
just started.
Yeah, that was a lie. They found out that was that at its
man.
best,
Damn.
and so they had to stop so often for the planes.
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's like the... Nope. There I go again, Dr.
You were
Loomis.
gonna, yeah,
That's the worst thing ever.
Nothing worse has ever happened on a movie set.
They heard 6 planes. 6.
But we watch as the ambulance pulls into the parking lot, lights flashing and sirens blaring. After they park, we get a very tight shot of the headlight for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like that doesn't come up again. But Bud hops out to open the back doors. He and Jimmy set Laurie down and wheel her into HMH. I'm going to start calling it that. There's a logo that is very cool for the hospital.
All I thought of was HHM.
I know you did, yeah.
From Better Call Saul.
That might be why I was so in love with using that. But
I was like, is Howard in there?
I hope not. But the radio later calls it Haddonfield Memorial Clinic.
Yes, I noticed that too.
It's like, then why don't make that logo then?
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
But at the front desk, the mother and her razor-mouthed son plead with Nurse Jill Franco, played by Tawny Moyer, to see a doctor.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I was like, he's got a fucking razor in his mouth.
Bleeding.
He's literally bleeding
Yeah.
from
And
his
he's
face.
a kid. What do you mean?
Can we move to the top of the list?
Go fill out these
She's
forms.
like, yeah, can we just have a seat, please?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she should have let them in first. That's number one. But she does tell them that the doctor is busy, which I'm like, all right,
Put him in a room.
Please.
Well, she does. Unfortunately, being a nurse can't be easy.
No.
It's not.
And even though she starts out a little, whatever,
Yeah.
she does tell the mom and Bleeding Gums Murphy to wait in room A, and they oblige. But just then, the boys wheel Laurie in with Bud asking where Dr. Mixter is. Jill says he's probably drunk at a country club party, and the EMTs just kind of shrug it off. Bud recounts Laurie's injuries. He says she's been stabbed on the left anterior chest, possibly penetrating, multiple contusions, broken ankle, but then Jill recognizes her as Laurie Strode. Mm-hmm. I do want to say, I know that she was stabbed in the arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you recount injuries if the arm just means the chest, but she was not stabbed in the chest.
I didn't think so.
She wasn't.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
It sounds more dramatic.
Yeah.
It does.
It's
I
like-
should have asked Dad. Is that how you say that? With all his
well,
medical knowledge.
Yeah, he would have gotten mad if it was
Yeah. It's like, did they say that? Yes. God damn it. But this is when Dr. Frederick Mixter, played by Ford Rainey, walks in. Jill was not joking because he's either freshly sautéed or just flat hungover, and he comes in asking for more coffee, which again is not a good sign.
Yeah.
No.
He's like, please. But Dr. Mixed Drink, more like, examines her and shoots her up with something. He then says they might have to put her out. And again, I don't know what the protocol is, but he looked at her arm for 2 seconds and then shot her up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same issue.
I'm not a doctor.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 second.
I know he asked her the last time she had her tetanus shot,
Yeah.
but he shot her up and then asked her that.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been that. I don't know. Was it morphine, fucking heroin? I don't know.
Who knows?
Well, and if she's from there, wouldn't they? I mean, I don't know. Wouldn't they maybe have some kind of medical record or something?
Yeah, I mean, they identified her on site.
Right.
There is one doctor on duty, even though he's drunk.
Well, then this is their only hospital. I'm
Yeah.
That's what
taking it.
this is small town
Yeah.
vibes. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
There's no excuse.
But Laurie protests against it, begging not to be put to sleep, but she watches as Jill readies a syringe for Dr. Mixter, and he shoots her up again.
In the waiting room.
Yeah, dude. The mother and her son are like, damn.
Maybe we should go somewhere.
Yeah. Are there any other clinics here? But back in the neighborhood, Loomis and Brackett patrol together in a police car with Brackett shining his flashlight out to hopefully spot Michael through the window. Loomis frantically barks orders, but Brackett has just reached his limit. As Loomis reloads his six-shooter, he reminds Brackett that their primary concern is to stop Michael. Brackett puts all the blame on Loomis, saying he let him out, his own goddamn doctor.
He didn't though.
Yeah.
No. I laugh because he just very quietly goes, I didn't let him out. He's
Yeah.
like, don't.
Well,
I'm not
he's
about to
like,
argue with you, but that's bullshit.
I've been over this and
Yeah.
fucking over this.
I did not let him out. But just then, Brackett gets a call on the radio from a deputy who is on the outskirts of town. Brackett tells him to head back and gives him a rendezvous point. But when he gets off the radio, Loomis holds his gun pointed in the direction of Brackett, and Brackett is fucking over it.
Come on, man.
He's like, put that away. And Loomis just rolls his eyes.
He does.
Yeah.
What a
Fine.
fucking square,
He's like,
man.
get over it. Never had a gun pointed in your face? Jesus. But this is when Brackett doubts Loomis's story. He says there's no way that he shot Michael 6 times.
Look, That if there's one thing this man is sure of, he's sure that he shot him fucking 6 times.
Right.
He told you twice.
But he sounds nuts.
He does. He does. But he's like, you must have missed. He's like, no man could take 6 slugs. And Loomis is now over it.
Yeah.
Change places. He tells him, look, Michael is not a man. Just then, we hear the sound of children's laughter as Loomis peers out the window, shouting to Brackett that he thinks he's spotted Michael. Behind the children, we see a man in admittedly a very Michael Myers-like outfit. And also walking suspiciously like the shape.
He's in Michael Myers cosplay.
Yes, he is.
But this is not a fucking popular costume.
Well, wait a minute. That's true.
He just picked up that mask at that store in that
true.
town.
At what store?
It was at the store that Brackett... Why is your hand on your hip?
Why is your hand on your hip?
What store?
It was at the hardware store.
Yeah, he got it there
So
in
I went to the
Haddonfield.
hardware store to get my Halloween costume.
Listen.
Well, it's a small town. Maybe
we're
it's-
balling on a budget.
Yeah.
Okay, it is what it is.
Yeah, he also just escaped from an asylum. He's not
Same
really
jumpsuit,
he's
yeah,
not really
just-
liquid right now.
And this man has work gloves on.
He does. Well, he has the fucking. Did he also murder a mechanic on the way to Haddonfield?
Oh my God,
That's
you're
the only.
fucking right.
That's
dude.
the only issue. The mask I'll forgive.
Yeah.
I was like, well, yeah, anybody could have picked that same mask up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
coveralls?
The coveralls. That's unforgivable.
That's a lot. But Loomis bursts out of the car saying he doesn't know if it's Michael or not, and he forces the children out of the way, following close behind Sheriff Brackett.
Holding the gun.
Yes.
out. I know, and
He shoved the kid with the gun. No, he didn't.
we know that he's right.
Yes.
We know his paranoia, his fear.
Mm-hmm.
We know that all of that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
As someone in the film from the outside looking in,
Uh-huh.
this man is unhinged and needs to be taken somewhere.
Well, the thing is it's like when your friends had a little too many and you're like, dude, you were my friend and everything, but
listen,
dude, you need to calm down. You know I love you.
Yeah.
But we see the man in the costume crossing the street as Brackett struggles with Loomis in the street, trying to keep him from firing his gun at the man. The man, now we see his fucking Shatner cut is bleached blonde.
Yeah.
Yes.
He looks right, but a police car comes from the left, smashing into him and driving him right into a news van. The 2 cars and the man explode in a ball of fire.
It escalates so fucking quickly.
You're just sitting there in awe.
Yeah.
What just happened?
It happened so fast, and it's so funny because you know that Brackett and Loomis are still struggling in the street.
Yeah.
First of all, you always look left, right, left.
Yes.
Man.
And I'm not gonna go into detail, but Dr. Wolfula.
Yes.
That's all I think.
That's all I think about when I see this particular thing happen is Dr. Wolfula. And we will, I know we've been hyperbolic already, but we will have more on why this is the saddest moment in cinematic history in just a bit.
Yeah. I was, like you said, in awe. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I was like,
Fuck.
Well, because again, when you think of John Carpenter's Halloween, there's no fucking way that this is happening in that movie. Ever.
You mean there's no explosions?
No.
not like that.
No. Fucking, it's a lot. But Loomis and Brackett rush over as the cop driving the car tumbles out, already getting his defense ready, saying, the guy's in the middle of the road. I didn't...
You guys all saw
Yeah,
it?
everyone saw. Now, the funny thing is that officer is played by Dick Warlock.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
He was just mad he was being impersonated.
And Deborah Hill's like, he didn't even deliver the line right. No, just kidding.
I didn't believe he was a cop. But Brackett asks if it was Michael, and as Loomis stares into the burning masked face of the man, he says he doesn't know.
Well, there's nothing
How
there.
can you know?
There's no discernible feature.
But suddenly, another police car pulls up, and Deputy Gary Hunt, played by Hunter Von Leer, gets out in a hurry. He rushes to Brackett, and he tells him that they found 3 bodies at the Wallace house, and with his heart in his throat, he tells Brackett that one of them was his daughter, Annie.
Oh, it's so sad.
Damn.
And I was thinking that when him and Loomis were driving around and he was having to put up with Loomis's fucking bullshit that he doesn't even know yet. It's the saddest thing in the world.
It's, oh God. And it gets sadder in a bit.
Yeah,
'Cause
it
there's
does.
one moment that is like, oh shit, they're really getting into this.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we're doing this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But Brackett grabs Hunt in disbelief and they get into his car. Loomis just invites himself into the back seat,
Yeah.
gun in hand, and they speed off.
You just see him running in his trench coat. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Dude.
Nobody said that you were coming. Like,
No.
nobody was like, come on, Loomis.
And it just makes me laugh but then again, I swear to God, he's always been in all fairness, because even when Michael escaped, like when they're outside the asylum, he goes, the evil is gone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's always been like this. I guess they just let him really get into it.
Loomis it up, man.
Yeah. Just,
Yeah, they just let him loose.
yeah. But we get one more shot of the burning man and the scene ends. Now, I know we talked about it a lot about this not really fitting in with Halloween,
Not at all.
but it reminded me that the budget was 8 times Halloween. So they're like, yeah, blow shit up.
Yeah.
Maybe I was going to say,
why
maybe
not?
he wanted the explosion all along.
It's true. But back at the hospital, Bleeding Gums Murphy and his mother are walking out to the parking lot. He's all stitched up and she asks if he's okay. She can't understand a word that he says.
No.
And so she just tells him it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I guess it's good to have a little closure here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid is fine.
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
I was concerned. That
Yeah.
doctor is drunk.
But it's funny, I was looking in the background expecting to see Michael showing up already or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I guess this is just about them.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, I read that this was intended by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill to be a setup for an anthology.
Man,
So that it's like, they're like, look, this is the last Michael Myers movie.
yeah. And I know that that was their goal, and that's why Halloween 3 doesn't
Yeah.
fit
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
anywhere. That, damn it, that's cool.
This was going to be the little tie-in.
Yeah.
All right.
But we all know history, you know.
Time makes full time.
Exactly. But back inside the hospital, the staff is watching the news where the reporter we saw earlier is repeating details about the murders and the suspect still being on the loose. Jimmy heads to Laurie's room to check in on her, only to find her fast asleep. He reaches out to softly touch her hand, you know, like a creep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it wakes her up. They say hi to each other, but are interrupted when nurse Virginia Alves, played by Gloria Gifford, walks in and tells Jimmy to leave Laurie alone.
Again, not spoiling anything.
Uh-huh.
This woman is the only person that should be working here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Everyone else needs to be fired
Yeah.
immediately.
It's crazy to me because she's treated as like the
the
villain.
bitch. Yeah. And I don't know. She's like, leave her alone to Jimmy. And I'm like, is this just something he does?
I guess.
Yeah.
He's like, he sees a cute girl and he's like,
I'm going to go wake her up. I was
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
falls in love 10 times a day.
And isn't he an EMT? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
I understand that EMTs need like a bedside manner and, you know, all that stuff. But
Not
I don't
literally.
think
Not
that
like that.
they don't get into bed with them, right? But Nurse Alves asks Laurie how she's doing, and she says that she's sore and asks what happened. Alves tells her that she cracked a bone, but the doctor is waiting until tomorrow to put a cast on. They're like, look, in this hospital, we can just shoot you up with shit willy-nilly, but a cast is gonna have to wait. But she tells Laurie to get some rest and tells Jimmy to head out with her. She leaves, and he pretends to follow, shutting the door behind her and turning around to Laurie with a smile.
The fuck?
I do not know you.
And even when he's talking to Bud about her, he's not like, oh, yeah, no, I know her. We're friends.
right.
No.
She goes to school with my little brother.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. This is the most tertiary of connections.
What are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
He's about to risk it all.
I'm very uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. But he asks if she wants something to drink, and she nods. He says he'll bring her a Coke, which, why the name brand? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You already said a drink. You said a soda.
Would you like a nice, refreshing
Right.
Coca-Cola?
You know, classic Coke is back. But Bud pops his head in, saying they've got another call and need to leave. Alves, who doesn't play that bullshit, doubles back and tells them both to leave.
Get out.
Yeah,
Yes.
no shit.
I just told her to get some rest.
So confused.
Jimmy's like, you want to play backgammon?
Yeah.
Or, aren't you on call? But back in front of the Doyle house, I said the Wallace house earlier.
I don't think it matters.
It really doesn't matter. Well, the funny thing is, I read something about them saying the houses look different after 2 years.
Yeah.
So don't come for me.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I'm confused too. But the reporter shares the latest news. The police have identified Michael Myers as the escaped patient, and they believe that he has been burned to death. I believe that's a direct quote. I'm like, you got to get someone else to write your copy, man.
They got to be the first to get it out.
I guess so. He's like, yeah, he's a burned corpse.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Jesus Christ.
Go say it.
But Deborah Lane, a line producer played by Katherine Bergstrom, tells her assistant, played by Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
She tells him to get as much info as he can, but reminds him about parental consent for statements from children, but then just tells him to get the statements anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, permission or not, it's fine. But just then, Brackett, Loomis, and Hunt arrive on the scene. Deborah opens her mouth to talk to them, but they breeze past her with a "not now." The men gather around as Jimmy and Bud wheel out another stretcher, this time covered in a sheet. Brackett pulls the sheet down to reveal Annie, played again by Nancy Loomis in a cameo. He closes her eyes and covers her again. As they take her away, Brackett tells the men very somberly that he has to tell his wife before somebody else does.
So fucking sad.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, this is serious, man.
Yeah, it's so sad.
And they handled it with the weight that it deserves because Annie Brackett is an angel.
She's your favorite.
She's my favorite. But Hunt tells him to go home and that he'll take care of everything. But this is when Brackett turns his anger to Loomis. He asks, "What have you done?" Loomis says, "I haven't done anything."
And he's so calm about it.
So
I guess
calm.
he's like, I can't be my 100 self with this dude. Not right now.
Brackett repeats. He says, "You let him out," and storms off. And Loomis, who will not allow this to go unchecked, he goes, "I didn't let him out. I gave them orders for him to be restrained."
Let's be clear.
It's like, I laugh at this every single time, which is not good because it's a very serious moment.
Yeah.
But just the way that Loomis, for whatever reason, he's like, I'm not allowing the record to be.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to take that once.
Not once, even from you who has been through a lot. But Hunt facetiously asks if there's anything they can do for Loomis, but Loomis tells him plainly, if that wasn't Michael Myers burning, a lot more kids are going to die tonight. Hunt doesn't believe him, saying he just saw Michael Myers burn, but Loomis says that they have to be sure. As the crowd gathers around, including people snapping photos.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud because people are gathering around like an audience, and the more people gather around, he's like, "No, wait,
Yeah.
he's like, he's so fucking.
He's giving them more of a show. Loomis is a showman. He's like, dude, ham it up.
He plays to his audience.
He does.
Plays to his
You
audience.
gotta respect it. Deborah is also listening intently, and Hunt says that he talks about Michael Myers like he's an animal. Loomis responds with a truncated version of his speech from the first film.
Yep.
He's like, I told Brackett, but you weren't here for that, so look.
I'm not gonna hold that against you.
Exactly. I was Michael's doctor for 15 years, and I realized within him there was no conscience or reason or anything remotely human. He's like, again, I shot him 6 times, and he walked away.
That's like, it's like the chorus.
Yes. He says it's possible that Michael's still out there. He then asks where they took the burned body, and Hunt tells him naturally the coroner's office. Loomis says to get a dentist and meet him there in 30. It's funny to me because this speech has the power to make believers out of skeptics.
Yeah.
Because it worked on Brackett in the original, because Brackett originally was like, look, I'm only doing this because it would look bad if I didn't.
Yeah.
And then later he's like, oh shit, Michael Myers, you said?
Well, he's scaring the shit out of everyone.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he fucking tells Hunt, and then Loomis kind of becomes acting sheriff now.
He did.
Like, it's ridiculous. He's like, get me to the coroner's office in 30 minutes. They're like, oh, yes, sir.
You got a bus.
You got a bus. I bring up Deborah, the line producer, a few times because apparently it was either in the original script or the novelization of this. Michael was supposed to kill her, and it was supposed to be this big scene on like the side of the road, but it didn't make it in the film for some reason. Yeah. So I thought she was going to be a bigger deal.
Well, it seems like she's gonna be,
Yeah.
and then you just never see her again.
Nope.
It's like, okay.
Like, we've had enough of that. But back in town, we see kids in the street trick-or-treating, and a teen walks by carrying a boombox on his shoulder, listening to a news report that says basically verbatim what Loomis just told Hunt. So they were really...
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
Okay. It was also funny to me that he was listening to the news.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's been a big night in Haddonfield. But the person on the radio also says the police are confident that the suspect will be captured soon. They also quickly dropped the he burned to death angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing about this is that the teen carrying the boombox is played by Lance Warlock, who is Dick Warlock's son.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
But we see Karen Bailey, an off-duty nurse played by Pamela Susan Shoup, walking with her friend Darcy Esmont, played by Anne-Marie Martin, to her car. She's complaining about a shitty Halloween party that she just went to, and Darcy reminds her that she promised to drive her home, and even though it'll make her late for her shift and she'll probably get chewed out by Alves, she reluctantly agrees to take her.
Yeah, emphasis on reluctantly.
Yeah.
I was like,
Fucked
what
up.
a bitch.
Could you imagine going with your friend somewhere and they drive you there and they're like, you have a way home, right?
No, after they said they'd take you home.
Right, yeah, I
And
was
then
gonna
she's like,
say.
oh, it's 5 minutes to you. I was like, 5 minutes?
Well, maybe you shouldn't have stayed at the party so
Yeah,
long.
Bitch.
that was my next comment. First you told me, and then you knew you had to go to work.
Yes.
Yes.
But then you want to leave
You
5 minutes till you got to go to work.
That
You
sounds
have
like a YP. That's your
Yeah.
Poor
problem.
time management.
Yes.
I was like, what a shitty friend.
It's just awful. But she's like, I guess, get in. I'm like, dude, you suck. But they do get into the car and pull away. We return to the boombox teen who throws it over his shoulder, but as he walks into the street, the reporter says a surviving teenager has been taken to Haddonfield Memorial. The radio teen bumps into the shape, and we then follow him as the Halloween theme plays and he heads down the street, passing a sign for Haddonfield Memorial Hospital with an arrow leading the way.
Yeah, very convenient.
Yes.
That kid was like, and I oop.
Yeah.
I expected more of a moment, and he's
Yes.
just like, nope, never mind. Like, he just keeps going.
Oh, he's like, oh, sorry, sir. Well,
Yeah.
everyone is wearing costumes tonight.
He's like, sorry, Dad.
This moment always makes me laugh because it is very convenient, like you said.
Yeah.
I did see on that featurette that this was shot by John Carpenter,
Yeah.
and it was shot because they realized later on that they did not have any way for Michael to know where the hospital was, who was there.
Yeah.
Didn't he live here?
He did, but he doesn't know where a certain person is until he hears it on the radio.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he couldn't
Yeah.
have known.
Granted, it is hilarious that he's like to the sign. He's like,
Yeah.
point me in that direction. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, it's it's very clearly a last minute decision they made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the hospital, we see Karen pulling into the parking lot. She grabs her things and heads inside, but we dip down to her side mirror to reveal the shape standing behind her car. So I will say, in the 5 minutes it took for her to take her friend home
Yeah.
and then get to the hospital, Michael
He
fucking
walked.
walked.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must be a Leslie Vernon
Yeah,
situation.
I was going to say, remember
Like,
though,
Yes.
when the camera's not on you.
He's just
All out.
panting.
Yeah. And that's why he's breathing heavily.
Yeah.
But inside the hospital, Jimmy watches the news for the latest updates. Bud is sat at a table with Janet Marshall, played by Anna Alicia.
Is this dude sitting there fucking smoking weed in the break room of the hospital?
Yeah.
You know what's so funny is that we talked about Cabin in the Woods recently, and so I'm so used to seeing pot that I didn't even register that he was smoking pot.
You're like, listen to that dude.
Yeah, he knows everything, dude. Please.
This is our protagonist.
Yeah, he's just sitting there with roach clips and everything.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah.
smoking.
Yeah.
Just, I was like,
you are on duty.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
an EMT.
Yeah.
You were driving
Oh, yeah.
the ambulance.
Yes. It makes him.
Okay.
It helps him focus.
Yeah. All right.
But Bud says that they should go for pizza and starts naming the ingredients that he'd like on that pizza. He did have me until he said he hated mushrooms.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah, get fucked, Bud.
I was like, now he's our antagonist.
But in another room, Bernard Garrett, a security guard played by Cliff Emick, sits distracted by a magazine when right behind him, in grainy-ass footage, we see the shape in 480p walking onto the property.
No, nobody's doing their job.
Yeah.
No.
Mrs. Alves.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Nobody
it.
else is
That's
doing
it.
their job.
But Karen knocks loudly on the door and Garrett buzzes her in. Concurrently, we see the door to the ambulance entrance slowly sliding shut without ever seeing who opened it. This is interesting because this shot was used earlier when they brought Laurie in, and now it's being used to show that the shape has come in.
Yeah.
I'm like, Dean Cundy, you goddamn
Yeah.
genius. But back in the break room, Janet tells the guys that a friend of hers saw Michael Myers yesterday afternoon. But Bud says her friend is full of shit because he didn't escape until last night. Janet's like, you don't have to swear.
Yeah.
It's like, you just lost.
Yeah.
Once you start tone policing, you've lost.
Why are you yelling though?
But Bud calls Janet's friend a goddamn moron. She tells him every single word out of your mouth is either hell or shit or damn. And he apologizes for fucking up all the time. She leaves annoyed, but he sits proud of himself. Karen walks in and makes eyes with Bud. She says that she's late and has to get on the ward, but promises to come see Bud later. After she leaves, Bud sings his own version of Amazing Grace.
Yeah.
Amazing Grace, come sit on my face. Don't make me cry. I need your pie. Jimmy's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
He's the fucking, he's the character,
He
man.
is. I have two things here. Number one, this little song, if we can call it that, was
Giddy.
ad-libbed.
Oh, wow.
Rosenthal was trying to come up with something. He's like, we need something that we don't have to pay for. And so Leo Rossi was like, hey, Amazing Grace is public domain. He's like, well, do you want me to just sing it? He goes, no, sing it like Bud would sing it.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you sure?
That's how Bud would sing
It
it.
is. The other thing is that he said that Rick Rosenthal fought for him to have this role because Deborah Hill did not want him to be Bud.
Why?
She said, and in all fairness, he does. She said, this is a small Midwest town. He is straight from the East Coast.
Okay.
No, he is.
Yeah, there is no...
He is.
But Bud's like, dude, what crawled up your ass? And Jimmy tells him that they very easily could have pulled Ziggy or Bud's brother Mark out of that house. Bud's like, dude, what do you want me to do? And that's when he tells him, I guess something that Jimmy doesn't want to hear. He tells him to never get involved with the patient because it doesn't work out.
Jimmy's like, but Laurie Strode's in there.
Yeah, you are aware of that, right? But I think my thing is that I'm supposed to believe in the 2 seconds that he's spoken to Laurie that he's already told Bud that he's in love with her.
Yeah, that's a really weird. I don't know what they were trying to do with Jimmy and Laurie, but I don't like it.
Am I supposed to like it? You know?
I don't.
I was just confused. I was like, what the fuck's happening? I was like, what?
I mean,
I was about to say, so you offer her a Coke and now y'all are engaged. The one that Bud was talking to that was offended by his language was drinking out of a cup that just said Coke.
it did. It's like, did they finance this? Dude, speaking of engaged, in that featurette, Leo Rossi said that he was in, I think it was like either a softball or celebrity golf or something like that. But on his team, it must have been softball. You can't play golf together. We're a team.
On his golf team.
Exactly. On his team was Christopher Guest. And yes, you know where this is going.
Yes,
it seems
I
like
love it.
This is a story you should be telling.
Yes, it is.
Jamie Lee Curtis came by to see them play. He introduced them, and I believe they're still married.
Isn't somebody else's name? Is Jimmy's last name Guest?
It is, and they're not related. I
Damn
looked
it!
it up.
I really wanted it.
I thought that'd be really cool. But after getting that bad news about not dating patients, Jimmy storms out, heading down the hall, and he passes an open door that slowly creaks shut.
Back to the break room for just a brief moment. Bud put the roach in his uniform pocket. Now, he's gonna stink.
Oh,
He's gonna stink pretty bad.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, nobody gives a
78.
fuck.
Yes.
It's 78.
Jimmy's like, what's he
not
like?
81, 78.
I think we hit a skunk.
What's that? You guys smell that?
Yeah, goddamn. But we then follow POV shots of Michael walking down a staircase, then through a hall. When we see Karen walking down the same hall, he ducks into the nursery until she's out of sight.
Not the nursery.
I know.
There's fucking babies in there.
He's like, look, even I have my limits.
Right.
I am not going to kill these kids.
Is he gonna eat them?
Oh, shit. We don't...
Yeah.
I don't like this,
Yeah.
dude. But he steps forward, about to head out, and then he sees Alves walk by and ducks back in like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
She's the boss.
Yeah, everybody knows that. Mostly obscured by darkness, we see the shape through the nursery window as Alves admonishes Karen for being late yet again. She apologizes, but Alves says, look, even though you're a great nurse, you need to be on time. I don't know how you're the bad guy.
Yeah, what a bitch.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
that's what we're
dude.
supposed to get.
I know. I was like, maybe I'm too old now, but I'm
Maybe.
like, fucking listen.
You
dude.
better show up. Eight means 8.
Those babies were unattended.
They were.
Because why? Because you went to a fucking party? Get it together.
And you're drunk or whatever. Is that you watching the film? And she's a bad friend.
And you're a shitty friend. Just go home.
Yeah.
man.
Just go home.
You're off duty tonight.
Indefinitely.
But in the background, we see the shape slink away. He literally, as he walks away, he's kind of watching her to make sure she doesn't turn around.
Yeah.
It's like, did you forget you're Michael Myers? But in Laurie's room, Jimmy sits at the edge of her bed. Obviously didn't take Bud's advice.
No.
Right.
But he tells Laurie that they should have handled Michael Myers better, and maybe he wouldn't have gotten loose. Laurie makes the connection. The Myers house. She's like, the little kid who killed his sister? Jimmy tells her that he escaped last night and that it's all over the news. She's flabbergasted, wondering why her.
This would be so crazy because Laurie's 17?
Yeah.
And this happened 15 years ago. That would be like when you're a kid, y'all are talking about this.
Right.
Like, that's the creepy house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for it to be that dude came back and attacked me, like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I would shit myself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think we have an equivalent. It's like if
No, we
Candyman was
don't.
real.
And then came for you.
Exactly, specifically. But Alves bust in, telling Jimmy once again to leave.
This is the most unprofessional.
It is. It's unbelievable. I one thing I did want to point out is, like, you know, when you think about it, this is all Laurie's dad's fault, right? If he didn't tell her to take the stuff to that old Myers place,
I mean,
and he spies her through the window, he's like, "What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
well,
This is my property."
It
Right.
should be all her dad's fault,
Yes,
but they tried to pull some M. Night bullshit.
they did, and
We'll get to
we'll
it.
get to that. But Jimmy stands behind Alves, mouthing to Laurie that he'll be back, and Alves is like, "No, you will not."
Oh my God.
Seeing that made me realize that he does do this. He must do this a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Because
Ew.
she doesn't even have to turn around to be like, "Jimmy, I swear to fucking God."
Fire him. Why did these people have a job?
No shit.
And maybe it's a small town and there's an EMT shortage.
I don't care.
I don't care.
He's like got predator vibes.
It's like, Bud, work harder. Jimmy's
Right.
fired. Because we can't keep doing this.
Bud, you're gonna be picking up some slack. Okay.
You're going to be driving and loading.
Did they really name him Bud
Yes, they did.
and then have him smoking Bud?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
That just clicked with me.
Well, they named him Dr. Mixter and he's drunk.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on.
These are like placeholder names.
Right.
Dr. Check.
But Alves checks in on Laurie, telling her that they're trying to get a hold of her parents, saying that they thought that the Strodes were at the same party that Dr. Mixter was, but somehow can't locate them.
Well, the party sounds like a rager, so
Yeah.
they're probably fucked up somewhere.
He's somewhere with a lampshade over his head. But Laurie says that she has no idea where they could be. We then get a shot of Michael leaving a room with a sharp instrument in the dark. Alves then tries the phone but can't get it to work. I guess that's supposed to be him saying, "I just cut the phone line."
Done and done.
But she calls in Janet and tells her to tell Garrett that they're having problems with the phone. Laurie starts to get suspicious, but Alves tells her not to worry and to get some rest. After she leaves, Laurie tries the phone herself and sees that it doesn't work.
Now, I thought her shoulder was hurt because
Yes.
she reaches all the way back.
She does.
And picks that
No,
phone
it was her
up.
chest, remember?
Yeah, she got stabbed. Yeah.
Either way, you're reaching.
No,
True.
it's her shoulder.
If you ask Bud, she was stabbed in the heart. So, like, I don't know what the fuck. But that's a good point.
Yeah, her injuries, I feel like, are pretty convenient
Yeah.
for the majority of the film.
There's one that outright confuses me.
Yeah.
But it's fine. But then she hears a branch scraping at her window, and then the scene just ends.
It's like,
Like,
all
I
right,
don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's fine.
She'll be
Yeah.
okay. But down the hall, Garrett hands a radio to Janet and says that he has to climb a pole outside to check the phone lines. Janet is like totally clueless as to use this radio.
yeah. He's like, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Gotta grow up sometime, kid. But outside, he surveys the area with his flashlight and doesn't notice anything noteworthy. He makes his way over to a dumpster, opening it up and finding what appears to be fresh blood. He reaches for it, but is then barreled over by a cat, and he crashes into a couple metal trash cans.
Not a cat jump scare.
I know.
Yeah.
You're better than this.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
He hugged that fake cat on the way
He
down.
did.
I was like, he straight up held that cat as he went down.
What's funny is, it was a stunt cat.
Yeah.
And he just... I would have held the cat too.
I mean,
Well,
who
yeah,
among us wouldn't?
Yeah. But he gets up, probably hoping there isn't some grainy ass footage of this somewhere. And he notices a broken padlock leading to a supply room. He walks in cautiously and turns on a lamp. He then gets on the radio and tells Janet that someone broke into the storeroom, but he comes in all fuzzy on the other end. He tells Janet that somebody needs to alert the sheriff. Janet fumbles her way with the radio, just completely fucking up.
Which she told him.
In all fairness, this is Garrett's fault. Garrett hears another noise, though, and heads off to investigate, finding yet another broken padlock. He opens it up, only for supplies to tumble down on top of him.
Okay, Paul Blart.
It's ridiculous.
This was very fucking slapstick.
It's ridiculous.
What are you doing? You're wrestling cats. You're fucking, what are you doing?
If he slips and falls.
Well, not only that, I know it's his job, but you don't got to give me a gun.
Absolutely
You want me to Scooby-Doo this shit alone? Oh, no.
Absolutely not.
I wanted him to crash through a table like Chris Farley. But it doesn't happen.
I mean, we're almost at
might
that
as well,
level.
dude.
Like, I was like, is this supposed to be funny?
I don't know.
Because it felt funny.
I laughed. But after hearing another noise, he ventures further, finding a third broken padlock. I feel like the job is done after 2.
Yeah.
But he opens up that door, finding nothing out of the ordinary, but when he closes it, the shape is waiting behind it. He lifts a hammer above his head and sinks the claw into Garrett's head.
We all saw it coming.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, R.I.P., you know. But the second he walked away from his station, I was like, bye.
Yeah.
But, like, because I was like, maybe he only kills teenagers, right?
Oh, no.
Because why did he leave that woman and her husband? Like, he could have taken them out in 2 seconds.
Yeah, he could have. So, and again, that makes a lot of it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Because he leaves them alone and then he goes and kills that teenage girl home alone, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's just like respects his elders.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
he's a good kid if you approach him proper. He's not that bad.
It just didn't make any sense to me because I'm like, oh no, he doesn't discriminate. But then if he's a ruthless killing machine, why'd he let the ham sandwich lady live?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Why'd he eat that dog?
Why did he eat that dog?
And not eat the cat? Because cats are better.
Yeah.
All right? You've heard it here first.
He ate the dog in the first movie.
He did. Maybe he's
his motivation.
A man grows. I mean, you know.
We all change. We evolve.
Yeah. I was just laughing because Garrett literally just showed up to make a fool of himself and die.
And then died.
That was
Die. But Janet still fiddles with the radio, trying to make contact with Garrett. She's like, I got to get back on the floor, dude, and just bails.
Yeah.
In the coroner's office, the dentist, played by Jeffrey Kramer, unveils the crispy body that the police assumed to be Michael. He scrapes at the teeth, saying it's difficult to tell, but seeing that there are no fillings, he assumes that the corpse is that of a young man, maybe 17 or 18.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Really weird logic for me.
It makes me laugh because after he says 17 or 18, Loomis goes, Michael Myers is 21. He's like, so it's not
This
him.
ain't him.
Yeah. But can you really tell by 2 or 3 years?
No, then none of that logic made sense. That made no sense. I didn't have my first filling till I was like almost 30.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that it makes no sense.
I was very confused by that too.
Yeah. Also,
is everybody supposed to get fillings at a certain age?
I don't know.
I don't know.
At 18.
Yeah.
Also, before you start scraping at a corpse, you should probably take that fluffy ass sweater off.
You're going to get all kinds of
It's
debris.
gonna get all over
Yeah.
it.
Take it home with you. But the dentist says to get a positive ID, they'll need to check x-rays and dental records, which will take hours. Loomis says that they have to assume that Michael Myers is still alive. And since Loomis, again, is apparently calling all the shots, Hunt tells his men to head back out and sweep to locate Michael Myers.
Don't they tell him to open? He's like, open the case back up. Or
Yeah,
something?
because
So-
the cops are like, I'm tired,
I
man.
don't think you closed the case
After.
based
Yeah.
on an unidentified man wearing a widely
Yeah.
available mask. What?
They're just lazy. Like, that's the only thing I can think
Unbelievable.
of. They're like, dude, Brackett's not here to get on our case. Let's just go home.
Closed.
I did laugh because Loomis thanks him because, like, dude, he's like, Brackett was a fucking piece of work. So thank
You're
you for
making
listening.
this very easy.
But we then see a mob gathering outside the Myers house, just fucking it up with rocks. I was like, Strode Realty's going to take a hit on this one.
They are.
There sure was a lot of rocks out there.
Oh, yeah. Did they have a rock
were
garden?
you,
Or
were you bringing them with you? Did you?
No, dude, they went trick-or-treating. It's fucking Charlie Brown.
Oh,
Just a sack full of rocks.
I got a rock. That's the cleanest joke we've ever told.
It'll never happen again.
No, we apologize. But Hunt's car pulls up with Loomis riding passenger. Hunt calls for more cars to be sent to the Myers place, and Loomis says, the tribe. one of their number was butchered. This is a wake.
Yeah.
Hunt doesn't even respond. He's like, this is why Brackett was.
Why is everything a fucking poem?
I don't
why
know.
Can't you just talk?
But Loomis pulls out his gun again, making sure it's loaded, telling Hunt that it heightens his sense of security. I just love this dude.
He's too much. It's perfect.
It makes me laugh because when he says about the security bit, Hunt looks at him like, dude, this is getting to be a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, what have I fucking linked up with?
Fuck.
God damn.
I have made a mistake.
Yeah.
But the men get out of the car and head through the mob to the Myers place. A patrolman comes out telling Hunt and Loomis that Michael just flat out is not here. That's when Hunt tells him to check again. Hunt offers Loomis a smoke, telling him how Haddonfield was a quiet town until tonight. The only gunfire you heard was the shot to start the track meet. I thought that was a great line.
Yeah.
But Loomis is like, and yet in 1963, Michael Myers butchered his sister, and that upstairs right there is that house.
That sounds quiet
Yeah,
to you?
weird.
That's interesting, huh?
He's got a lot of passive energy too.
Yeah.
And it comes up later and it kills me. But
Dude was trying to light his cigarette. He was just completely ignored him.
No, he's
Yeah.
like, whatever. He does take a cigarette and then he just holds the lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, thank you.
And this is mine now.
Yeah. But Loomis says that after 15 years, Michael came back. There was a force inside of him biding its time. He says Michael appeared to be the ideal patient to the staff because of his silence and immobility.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't talk, cry, or move. He just waited. So again, I know Loomis is like doing the most in this movie.
Right.
But in these moments, you're like, God damn, Donald Pleasance is just...
Yeah.
No, he's amazing. And he makes Michael Myers scarier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, he's great. He's just fucking funny
It's, yeah,
sometimes.
because there's a lot of moments. I mean, we had in the first film, Lonnie, get your ass away from there. But stuff like this is just, he's just dialed up. But Loomis says the staff didn't know what he was. Hunt's like, did you know? And Loomis goes, yeah, I knew. Just then, a couple of teens rush up to Hunt saying they're worried about Bennett Tramer. Trying to choke back the tears here. They say he left the party at 10 p.m. and they haven't seen him since. They say he was drunk and Loomis asks how old he was. They say he was 17 and had a stupid mask on.
And he had no feelings.
Yeah, just for the record. We talked about it a lot. Ben had no feelings. The men rush off and Loomis says maybe they should check his dental records. And I was like, man, as if Laurie's night wasn't awful
I
enough.
know. No.
Yes. The dude she was crushing on. It was the greatest American love story ever
It
told.
was supposed to be.
I don't know why I said American. I think, you know what? I was thinking the great American novel and I just fucking mishmashed everything together.
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
It was worldwide greatest story ever
Right.
told. But we never got to see it through. And now we're supposed to just replace Ben Tramer with Jimmy?
Yeah.
Get fucked,
Yeah,
Jimmy.
fuck off, Jimmy. Your predator ass.
You're like, I hope you're listening, Jimmy.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck you. But the patrolman returns, saying that they had a break-in at the elementary school, and they're sure it's Michael Myers, so the men rush off. Back at the hospital, Karen sorts through medication when a loud alarm goes off, scaring the shit out of her. She heads down the poorly lit hall with her stethoscope, checking in on a patient in one of the rooms.
Why is this hospital so fucking dark?
I don't
Right.
know. I don't know.
And wouldn't she know who's supposed to be in what room?
Yeah,
She should.
Right.
Yes.
There's usually like charts and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like when I'm not a nurse, but when one comes on, like, isn't she briefed about each patient's status?
Yeah.
Or aren't they briefed about each person's status
You would think.
as
Yeah.
the outgoing nurse?
Well, but
leaves?
then again, you got to remember, Alves is the only one doing her
Oh,
job.
yeah.
Everyone else is just smoking weed
Yeah,
with bud.
nobody seems to know what's going on.
Another thing a lot of people complain about was how empty this hospital is.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it made me laugh because Rick Rosenthal's defense, he goes, no, well, one time me and my wife went to a hospital at night and it was also very empty.
Okay.
It's like, don't
Sure,
use
pal.
don't use
Yeah.
anecdotal evidence with
cool
me.
story, bro. Of one night.
Of one night,
Okay.
yeah. But I think that's why they were trying to say that it was a clinic on the radio, because a clinic makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they already fucked
But
up.
they made a
With their
logo.
cool
Yeah.
HHM
Oh,
logo.
yeah.
But Karen reaches the bed of the patient, and suddenly the patient grabs her and pulls her on top of him, but it's revealed to be Bud.
She should have known when she walked in and smelled the fucking marijuana.
Like, is our patient a skunk?
Right?
Is this an animal hospital?
Bud's in here.
Yeah. But she calls him an idiot and an asshole, and he just tells her Happy Halloween. She then calls him a jerk, getting off the bed to collect herself. He reminds her that she loves him, and she calls herself an idiot too. I was like, yeah, that's kind of cute.
I guess.
He's not Jimmy, dude. He's fine.
Yeah.
I'm still mad.
You're still angry.
He associates with Jimmy, goddammit.
He knows Jimmy. But then Bud has a bright idea to head down to the therapy room, but Karen says that she can't leave the kids. He says everyone is all weirded out over Michael Myers. He's like, but I just want to... And then in it was kind of a rare moment of sincerity, he just pulls her in for a kiss. I was like, this is not the Bud I know.
No, first of all, who are you?
Yeah.
Secondly, she doesn't want to get it in the middle of her shift.
Holy Lord.
In the middle of her shift when she's supposed to be watching babies. And he's like, man, Michael Myers is ruining everything.
Dude,
What?
I don't know.
And listen, she's supposed to be watching that babies. And from what I've learned in a movie we watched recently, if you're off showing each other the flesh and one of those babies dies, then
that's gonna
Mama's
be
coming for that ass. That's all
gonna
I'm
be
saying.
a real problem. But Bud then tells her that the therapy room is just a few rooms down. Karen reluctantly agrees, but says that they have to keep the door open so they can hear in case someone needs something.
Yeah, let's fuck with the door open.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are you talking about? This is
Well, if
insane.
there's nobody there.
No, Mrs. Alves is still here.
Oh,
She will
yeah.
fire
that's
your
true.
ass. And okay, hi, you're supposed to be watching these fucking babies,
yeah,
dude.
but
Why do y'all keep
they're
forgetting about
asleep.
the babies?
Yeah. Look, I understand riding the clock to take a shit. I understand
But you
that.
don't ride the clock to ride the...
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I don't know about that.
You know what I'm saying.
See, we've made our way back from Charlie Brown, folks.
Remember when we were joking about Charlie Brown?
Yeah. But anyways, she tells him that she needs to double check the kids first, and Bud tells her to meet him there in 15 minutes. We then get shots of the dark, empty hospital halls before returning to Laurie's room, where we find her sleeping once again. She dreams of an interaction with a girl and her mother in the backyard of their house hanging laundry. The girl asks why her mother won't ever tell her anything, and the mother is like, I told you, I'm not your mother. I was like, that is bold as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how you tell someone that.
That's fucking insane.
It's unbelievable. But she then sees drops of blood falling onto a black surface before we see a large room with giant windows and wooden floors with a boy seated in front of one of the windows as the sunlight beams in. The girl slowly approaches the boy, and he turns around to face her as the blood continues to drip. She wakes up like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's really obvious what this dream was, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you are trying to tell me. I guess we can get into the math of it a little bit later when a little more is revealed.
Uh-huh.
But Loomis didn't know about this?
Yeah.
This is visitation.
Uh-huh.
Loomis didn't know about this?
Uh-huh. There's a lot that literally, and pardon me, makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
I was like, and it's funny because growing up, I was like, yeah, that's what it is.
Uh-huh.
And then watching, I guess I can't give too much away about it, but
well, I mean, there'll be even more when we get to the moment itself as
Right.
well.
okay.
But I feel your pain.
Yeah, I accepted this as fact as a child.
Yes.
And then I got older and I was like,
Wait a minute.
wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, no. I watched it and this part and I was just like, okay, wow. And that looks like nail polish watered down. So
That's what
Yeah.
you took away from it.
well, the dream was
The dream was a lie.
Yeah.
wow. But
And you choose tonight to be like, oh, recovered memory.
Yeah.
Like, wait,
Yeah.
what? It's whatever fucking Dr. Mix drink shot her up.
Exactly. It was some kind of recovery serum. But Laurie just falls back asleep. And we've already gave it away, but I was going to say, I'm sure it means nothing.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't mean anything.
yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
But in the therapy room, through obscure glass, we see Karen taking her clothes off with Bud already in the hydrotherapy tub, watching with anticipation.
They have the bubbles and the jets on in the tub. But
It's
y'all are supposed
loud.
to, yeah, you're supposed to hear somebody coming though.
Yeah. How are you going to hear it over that? Come on,
This
man.
is jump on.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah?
go on.
He's like, keep
You
going.
got it, boss.
But Karen throws a towel on, turns off the lights, and enters the room. She then drops the towel, getting in the hot tub with Bud completely naked. They start to make out, but Karen complains about the heat of the water. Bud jokes that it's just him, and they continue on. We see the hand of the shape reaching out and increasing the temperature of the water even more. Karen then asks Bud to get out and check because it's getting way too spicy for the pepper. The funny thing about this is in that featurette, Leo Rossi said that the water is actually freezing cold.
Oh, man.
He said that as they were about to get in, Rosenthal told him that the generator broke.
As they were about to what?
Nope. We're not doing that.
But I'm like watching them. I'm like, by Halloween's own rules.
Yeah, dude.
You dead.
You done goofed.
Yeah, you done goofed.
But Bud gets up and heads to the other room. Karen steps out of the tub with her back to the door, and through the glass behind her, we see the shape step into frame and silently strangle Bud to death.
Yeah.
Bye, Bud.
I actually liked Bud, so it was a shame.
Yeah.
But we watch his body fall lifeless to the floor, and the shape slowly creeps into the room. He walks up to Karen and rests his hand on her shoulder. Assuming it's Bud, Karen grabs his hand and tells him that it's just not going to happen tonight, but she asks if he wants to go to breakfast later.
Bud just got out of the tub, butt ass naked.
And wet.
And wet.
Uh-huh.
And she's stroking his hand with his fucking long sleeves on.
Dude, it bothered me because she starts kissing his hand.
I was going to say she does a little more.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were there yet. But
She's unable to feel that it's Bud somehow.
right.
I was like,
that it's not Bud.
that it's not Bud.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, did Bud find a mechanic suit? But she's kissing in his hand and sucking on his finger. I'm like,
Yeah.
how does that not taste terrible?
Bro, yeah, thank you. I was like, that's fucking gross.
Yes, after everything Michael has done
Yeah,
tonight.
you
just
know
he did not.
hasn't washed his hands.
Why do your hands
Not
taste
one.
like dog?
Sanitizer.
Yeah, dude, there's no way.
That wasn't this movie. All right.
It's the same night, damn it.
We can't forgive him. It's
No.
unforgivable.
No.
But thankfully, she finally turns around to see that it is not Bud, and she screams. Unfortunately for her, it's too late. Michael grabs her and submerges her head first under the scalding hot water. He pulls her out, and she screams. He dunks her back in, and we see the temperature gauge moves into the red, which is literally labeled scalding. Why would you have this on there?
That?
So we can know.
I guess. But we see him continue to dunk her head in, each time pulling her out with more severe burns until the skin on her face is hanging off.
I thought it was cool,
Yeah.
but like Michael should have lost some hand skin.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's not human.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
But after the final dunk, he dumps her onto the floor dead. Again, the effects look great.
Yeah, no, it did look good.
My thing is, it's just not what I think of when I think of Halloween. This is
a
Friday the 13th.
death, for sure.
No, it is.
For sure.
I mean, and again, there was a little bit of nudity in Halloween, so the nudity is whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. But it's the gory graphic death. You're like,
Right.
this very much is Friday the 13th.
Yeah, definitely.
So I know, and I just thought it was really funny.
Huh.
But I thought it would be funny if Michael committed to the bit of being Bud, and he was just in there naked, but with the mask on when he killed her. Like, it was like he had the clothes on, and when she turned around to see it was really not Bud, he was naked. He's like, oh, what the fuck? And then he kills her.
In all fairness, dude commits to a bit because he wore that sheet with Bob's glasses.
Yeah.
So he should have gotten naked.
Yeah. He literally kills Bob, takes his glasses, puts it on.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
man.
No, original Halloween, Michael would have been butt ass
been
naked.
naked. Yeah.
So the IMDb parents guide would have would have been great.
You finally got to see Michael's dick.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Did we bring that up on here?
I think I don't know. I don't know if it was the show or Talk Mortem.
Uh-huh.
But okay, in the parents guide on IMDb for the original Halloween, there was somebody that was very upset about the fact that we saw breasts, but we did not see male frontal nudity.
And every single note.
It was such a passive aggressive, you see breasts, you don't see any penis. It's like, you can just go look at a penis, like if that's what you want.
It's just funny to me for the parents consulting that. They're like, yeah, we got it.
Are you okay?
We're trying to figure this out. Working through some shit.
I just want to know if my kid can watch this.
Yeah, god damn. Is this your diary?
Chill out.
But at the elementary school, an officer shows Loomis and Hunt where Michael broke in, leaving a trail of blood from the window to one of the desks. Then, on the teacher's desk, they find a drawing of a family of 4, a knife sticking straight up out of the paper stabbed into the daughter of the family.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Did Michael draw that?
That's
that's what I was going to say.
So,
did he go through their work till he found one he liked?
Yeah.
Or did he draw it?
I don't
Which
know.
was it?
Because
this one only has boys.
Damn it. We saw him escape Smith's Grove,
right.
And he did not stash a drawing into his gown. And so it only makes sense that either he found it here or he fucking drew it here.
Both of which are absurd.
Come on. It's so much. But Loomis looks at it for a moment and says, sister. The officer then takes him over to the chalkboard. Outside, we see a car pulling up, and Marion Chambers, played by Nancy Stevens, gets out. I love seeing her back.
Yeah, that was cool.
She was in the car with Loomis in the first one, if you recall.
Right.
She got her face grabbed.
Yeah, she was sick of his shit.
She was.
In the car.
But on the chalkboard, Michael has written the word Samhain in blood, which Loomis pronounces as Samhain.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
That's the only thing I was like, close but no cigar. You're Dr. Loomis. You should know this shit.
Damn it.
Watch me be pronouncing it wrong, and then we look like assholes. But he says it means the Lord of the Dead, the end of summer. The festival of Samhain is October 31st. Marion walks in and says she has to talk to Loomis, and oddly, even though they were just in a car together last night, Loomis says he doesn't recognize her.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Yeah,
He said,
Damn it.
I didn't recognize you. He's like, it's been 2 years. I mean, it's been
It's been
1
some
hour.
hours.
But she says that they need to talk privately, so they go into the hall. In the hall, she tells him that he's been ordered back to Smith's Grove by the governor. She basically says none of this is a good look. His patient escapes, kills 3 teenagers, Loomis fucking shoots him, and he escapes again.
How many times did you shoot him? Because if it's under 5,
Then we
it's
can,
fine.
yeah. And he's like, damn it, I shot him 6 times. But Loomis says that someone should have listened to him earlier, and Marion agrees and apologizes.
Well.
Good. I mean, good.
She says Dr. Rogers at Smith's Grove is just worried that this could jeopardize their entire program. Loomis says to tell Dr. Rogers that she couldn't find him because with everything going on, he cannot leave Haddonfield right now. But Marion tells him that he doesn't have a choice. There's a marshal waiting for him outside.
I was like, God damn. The insults do not stop coming for this dude.
No. She's like, I've brought backups. Reinforcements. He's being troubled. Right. But back at the hospital, we see the shape again in 480p, making his way through the halls on the CCTV.
I love that this dude just doesn't give a shit.
Dude, he cares. Not at all.
I'm gonna wander
security.
wherever the fuck I want to go.
And it's funny, they only have 1 security guard.
Yeah.
He's like, I already murked him.
Yeah, I got nothing to worry about.
We're fine. But we're then taken back to Laurie's room where Jimmy has once again snuck in.
Let her fucking rest, dude.
That was the whole. That's all Nurse Alves wanted.
I gotta tell you,
she's the bad guy, by the way.
I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
I'm sick of Jimmy's behavior.
You're sick of your shit, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm done.
Slipping Jimmy.
Oh no,
not slipping Jimmy at HHM.
Yeah, I know, right? This thing writes itself. But he tells Laurie that even though she doesn't know him well, he promises he won't let anything happen to her.
What?
I do not know.
Yeah.
Stop.
You're a creep.
This is gross.
But he then realizes that Laurie is in a somewhat catatonic state for some reason and alerts Jill, who apparently tells Janet. we see Janet going to get Dr. Mixter, but when she enters the room, we see that the room is filled with steam and a shower is running. I was like, what kind of office is this?
My next note was, what kind of hospital is this? What the fuck is going on?
I mean, that'd be pretty cool to have a shower in your office.
I mean, I can see why it would come in handy for a doctor, but this seems like I need to sober up shower.
Well, him especially.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of seems like they turned a patient room into a doctor's office.
Yeah. I mean, the production budget.
He's just laying in the bed.
He's like, what's cracking, Jill? But she knocks on an adjacent door and lets herself in, calling out for Dr. Mixter. She sees him seated in his chair with his back to her in the dark. Good sign.
Yeah. Don't we all sit like that?
Yes.
Just when we're hanging out?
Of course. We sit like a supervillain. Yeah.
Yeah, that means everything's fine. Everything's pizza.
Everything's pizza, man. Everything is pizza. But in a clear bit of ADR, Janet tells him, Doctor, it's Laurie Strode. She's had a reaction to the medication. You better come quick. I was like, well, one of those lines wasn't spoken on set. But when he doesn't answer, she turns his chair around to reveal that not only is he dead, but he has a syringe sticking out of his eyeball. I was like, God damn. And sidebar, for me, I was like, because minus the syringe, it seems a lot like a scene from Psycho.
Oh, it does.
I know Carpenter is all about that life.
Yeah.
But interesting. But Janet slowly backs away, a light slowly revealing the shape's mask behind her.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It feels like a little nod.
It's like masterful.
Yeah, just like that door frame scene in Halloween. But he grabs her and readies a syringe, plunging it into her temple and injecting air, I guess, directly into her brain.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
I was going to make a Botox joke, but that's much worse.
But of course, she falls to the floor dead. I did see on that featurette that I think it's Anna Alicia, the actress who plays Janet. Mm-hmm. When she fell, somebody left a table too close to where she fell, and she busted her eye.
Of course she did.
And she said blood was everywhere. And she's shouting to Rick Rosenthal. She's like, use it. And he's like, cut!
Just go with it, man.
Yeah. And so they take her to the hospital, and she gets, I think, 12 stitches.
Ooh.
But the scene with her getting annoyed by Bud earlier was filmed after, and so she's got a ton of makeup
all right.
to cover those stitches.
What a trooper.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, no, just give me an embolism.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. That's a real syringe, right?
Keep rolling.
Yeah. But back in Laurie's room, Jimmy tells Jill that he's going to find Nurse Alves. He checks the ladies' lounge with no luck, running off to look elsewhere.
Why are you looking? She's going to get in that ass. I would not be looking.
Yeah.
She's like, you went in her fucking room again? How do you know she's catatonic?
He's like, Jill, you're going to have to say you found her.
I'm going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
I'm on my last drink.
But Jill hears a creaking noise and steps into the lobby. Suddenly, the buzzing alarms go off, frightening her. She closes Laurie's door and heads down the hall. In POV shots, breathing heavily, the shape makes his way to Laurie's door. He pushes the door open, scalpel in hand, stabbing into her bed 3 times.
I have a few things.
Okay.
First of all, while he's here, he should just get himself some albuterol.
It's right behind the,
It's right there, Mike. He was clearly not stabbing a person.
Oh, no. It's like,
Well, yeah.
have you ever killed anyone before, man? Like, because, of course, we reveal that Laurie's pulled a switcheroo with some pillows.
Yeah. What do you think he was thinking when he pulled those sheets back?
He's like,
Are you fucking kidding me? I was stabbing that.
no.
Yeah.
He's like, I play the pranks.
But, like, wasn't she catatonic?
Oh, yeah.
Was that a lie?
I don't know. Her injuries and her issues really, it's like very convenient. Like, we need her to not be able to do this right now, but no, she's got to get out of here before Michael gets here. I don't know. It's like weird to me.
The broken ankle bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's got the most sometimes.
We're very selective.
Yeah. But we see Laurie slowly making her way down the hall, using the wall to keep her balance. Jill returns to find Laurie missing and calls out to her. On the CCTV, we see Laurie making her way down the hall, stumbling into another room and grabbing the telephone and sinking to the floor. The shape continues down the hallway in a casual pursuit. This is when I was thinking about Deborah Hill being like, he's too slow.
Yeah.
I was like, this is probably the scene where she said that. I thought he did fine.
I think so too,
I mean,
man. Like,
nobody's Nick Castle, but
no, I think y'all were just mad.
yeah. But Laurie crawls to put her back against the wall, picking up the phone. When she realizes it doesn't work, she hangs it up and looks out in the hallway, pulling herself across the floor. When she doesn't see Michael, she closes the door behind her and pretty much just curls up into a ball. In the next scene, we see Loomis, Marion, and Hunt leaving the elementary school. Hunt promises that they'll find Michael, but he and Loomis realize that they have no idea where to even look. Loomis gets into the car with Marion and Marshal Terrence Gamel, played by John Zinda. Hunt watches as they speed away. Back at the hospital, Jill rushes to the security desk for Garrett, but only finds his hat.
Makes the sure.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We pan down to once again see 480p Michael totally disregarding the security cameras.
Doesn't give a fuck.
Just fucking walking straight down the hall. He opens a door and heads inside, which Jill hears. We then see her leave the counter and head down the hall, which is the same hall from the CCTV. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She hears a noise behind one of the doors and opens it. A hand reaches out from behind and grabs her by the shoulder, but it's Jimmy.
We should have known he's grabbing, you know,
It's
fucking
kind of
predator.
his MO.
Yeah.
Fucking predator.
I don't like him.
No, he's not good. But he tells her that everybody's gone, but they need to find Laurie. In the shadows, we see the shape slide into frame like, Laurie, you say?
Yeah.
Literally a man-shaped shadow.
Yes.
Michael really lucked out because he couldn't have asked for a dumber staff.
No,
Yeah.
dude.
Like, they were waiting for him.
Turn your head 30 degrees. And you will see a man.
Have periphery vision. Peripheral
like,
vision.
It's like when Frank was hiding in the couch.
Yeah.
There's clearly a fucking man
There's
behind.
a man in that, yeah.
Michael Myers is an asshole. But Jimmy tells her to check the East Wing, and if she doesn't find anybody, get in her car and drive to the sheriff's station to bring someone back. She reluctantly agrees, and they split up with a lingering shot of the shape's silhouette. He's like, I can't believe they didn't see me.
That was the funniest shit. He looked, I was like, what the
He's
fuck?
like, I'm not even trying anymore.
Yeah.
Dude,
He's
seriously.
right there.
He's like, dude, I've been giving it an A for effort all night.
Right,
I'm done.
That's
I've
unbelievable.
been trying to get caught.
Yeah.
You guys don't
That's
notice. Yeah.
that's y'all's fault.
But Jimmy heads down a hallway, calling out for anybody. He heads into a surgery suite and finds Nurse Alves on an operating table with an IV in her arm, drained of every drop of blood.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Was this in Laurie's dream?
The dripping blood?
Yeah.
Did you hear that shit?
I'm like, are you fucking? I'm
Yeah.
done. Now the crabs have machine guns. Now Laurie's psychic.
That makes
okay.
sense. I don't know, dude. I'm assuming because, well, I didn't know if the blood... We'll talk in a bit.
I'm mad.
We'll talk in a bit. I did, when I saw the amount of blood, I'm like, I'm not a doctor, but looks like a lot.
Is she gonna be okay?
Yeah, I don't think she's going to make it, folks. The funny thing is they said that they originally filmed this with, it was like gallons of blood.
Damn.
And then after Rick Rosenthal saw them set it up, he's like, there's not that much blood in the human body.
What the fuck?
So this is a fucking Shining.
Reel it in.
God damn.
And so they were pissed, but they had to clean it up and redo it.
Yeah. Wow. Come
good.
on.
That's-
Yeah.
But Jimmy turns around to exit stage left and slips in the pool of blood, falling right on his back, knocking himself unconscious.
Oh, I thought he was dead or something. I was like, what happened?
Yeah, he
yeah.
looks dead.
He
He
looks
goes
dead.
out immediately.
Yeah.
Well, his eyes flutter a little, and we kind of get an overhead shot to really sell how pathetic this is.
Yeah.
No, and the fall was super slapstick.
Yeah.
It was.
Like, I was like,
Both his legs went up.
that was fucking hilarious. I was like, is this Buster Keaton? Like, what the fuck is going on? But I read that he did that stunt himself.
Ooh.
Shit,
I bet
dude.
he fucked him. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that looked very painful.
There's no
Yeah.
way that felt good.
Oh, no.
But we then see Jill bailing out of the building and rushing to her car in the parking lot. I guess she didn't find anything in the East Wing.
She's like, fuck
Fuck it, I'm out.
this.
But when she reaches her car, she gets inside and tries to start it. It's a slasher, so of course the engine will not turn over. And she gets out of the car and sees that not only will it not start, but all 4 of her tires have been slashed.
He wasn't taking any chances.
No, and he really wasn't because she retreats back toward the hospital, noticing that all the vehicles in the parking lot have had their tires slashed.
He was very busy.
God damn.
Nobody's getting out of here in a car.
No. There's like, when were you killing Garrett in that? Are there two Michaels? Was Ben Tramer? No.
But me, I'm like, I guess we're walking to the sheriff's station. I'm not fucking going back in there.
No.
Are you insane?
And apparently Michael proved that Haddonfield is quite walkable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just saying.
Hoof it, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But back inside, we see Laurie still on the floor, slinking her way into the hallway outside of the room she was hiding in. She stands and starts to walk away, but Jill calls out to her from the end of the hall. Laurie appears to be a little loopy, so maybe it wasn't completely bullshit.
I guess.
But she doesn't really respond to Jill, so Jill calls out to her again. When Laurie turns around, she sees Jill, but behind her is the Shape. Scalpel in hand, he stabs Jill in the back, lifting her off the ground with ease.
I'm laughing at myself because I wrote, man, that...
Oh, God.
I wrote, that scalpel is strong as fuck.
Oh, that's not right. Man, his shoulder blades are fucking killing it. Well, I mean... That scalpula is strong as fuck.
That's what I meant. Yeah, it's everybody. The scalpula and the scalpel.
Yeah, weren't we just talking about A&P?
I was just really into the movie, I think.
God damn.
No, I thought her shoes falling off was the funny part.
Yeah. Again, that's a comedic beat.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
And there was someone on the featurette, I forgot what her name was, but she said that she came up with that, and she was like, I'm so glad I got that joke in. She called it a joke.
My.
So it was meant to be a joke.
Yeah, we didn't need that.
No.
But yeah, her
what is happening?
Yeah.
Her fucking nurse clogs hit the floor.
Crocs, come on.
And then her body soon follows, which I guess is less funny, but... Laurie takes off running with the Shape in pursuit. She pulls a gurney to block the hallway and runs down a staircase to a lower floor. We get the iconic low-angled shot of Michael in pursuit heading down the stairs.
There are no stair holes here.
No. We were all very disappointed.
Yes.
0 out of 10 stair holes.
But Laurie runs into some kind of maintenance area and accidentally backs into the hanging corpse of Garrett, the security guard.
Poor Paul Blart.
I know. Mall corpse. More. But Michael rounds the corner, blocking her only exit. With nowhere to run, Laurie climbs up a pipe and escapes out of a window as Michael swipes at her with his scalpula. She crashes into a stack of boxes in the next room and just keeps going. She then finds an elevator and frantically presses the call button. Of course, it takes its own sweet-ass time, Michael's slowly catching up to her.
Yeah, you're lucky he doesn't run.
Yeah, dude. He's like, man, you better not be there in 30 seconds, because
you're fine.
Yeah.
No, that's against the rules. Yeah. But the door finally opens, and she backs into the elevator with her back against the wall. Michael reaches out with the scalpel, the door closing on his hand, but he just kind of lets her go.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I feel like he let you have that
one.
Yeah, he didn't want her that bad. And why did you use the opposite hand to try to stop that elevator? Your left hand was free. Why did you grab it?
Hold it up.
Yeah.
He was like, this is too fun. Yeah. I'm not done yet.
Then I'll get you after class. Yeah. But Laurie gets off the elevator on the first floor and runs into the parking lot. She finds a nearby car has its doors unlocked, so she climbs into the passenger's side and hides on the floor. She pokes her head out looking for Michael, but sees nothing.
Man, to peek out, you got to show your whole fucking hair, your forehead.
Your whole wig. And
your whole fucking wig. What if we just had like antennas that our eyes were up top and we could really just peek over?
I'm going to go out on a limb here, Reneé, and say that it's not worth making that change just to look out of a car sometimes.
One time I told John Paul, wouldn't it be great if after every kid you had another set of arms? And he was like, no.
Hey, what the fuck?
I'm okay.
No, nobody would ever have kids.
Okay, so my genetic evolution that I'm pitching, it's a no.
No, you're not allowed.
I'll go back to the drawing board.
I don't want you in the medical field at all, frankly. Science is out too.
It just shows you, I mean, just science is out too. None of it. Nothing. No. But like, you have to expose a lot to be able to see.
And for me personally, I don't know why she didn't just run. Just keep running.
Yeah.
Because her ankle's broken sometimes.
That's true. You're telling me the adrenaline's not healing that ankle?
I know it should have.
Man, if only she had eyes in her ankle right now.
That's right. If only she had an extra set of ankles.
There we go. Genius. In the next scene, I'm stuck on the extra arms, man. What are you, Goro? What the fuck?
I think my logic was one pair can be holding the baby, another pair can be, making a bottle or, changing another child's diaper. I don't know, but, we all need more hands.
The listeners can't hear this, but I'm just staring at you blankly in pure judgment.
Edit all of this out.
No, it's staying in.
I was a lot younger when I had that idea, and I see...
What were you? Were you 30?
Yeah.
Were you 29?
I was like 23, and I see the error in it now. I don't want to be Goro. I just wanted to get more done.
Good Lord.
Can we move on?
In the next scene, we see the marshal speeding past the Haddonfield Memorial sign that Michael used to guide his way earlier. Loomis and Marion sit in the back seat, and Loomis is being passive as fuck. He's like, should have listened earlier. Marion apologizes again, and he's like, oh, don't apologize to me. Apologize to that town back there. It'll be years before they forget this. I'm like, Loomis.
Yeah.
Loomis is like, don't be sorry, bitch. Be better.
But this is when Marion tells him that there's something he should know. Before he finds that out, though, he launches into an explanation of the writing on the blackboard.
Yeah.
He says in order to appease the gods, Druid priests held fire rituals, burning animals, criminals, and the insane alive in baskets. The marshal looks back in the rear view like, holy shit, dude.
He's like, what the fuck?
Loomis says by observing the way they died, they believed they could see omens of the future. He says 2,000 years later, they haven't come any further. He says Sam Hain isn't the evil spirits, goblins, ghosts, or witches. It's the unconscious mind. He says we're all afraid of the darkness inside ourselves. The marshal's like, I'm going to go to the store. But this is when Marion breaks in, telling him about the secret file on Michael Myers that was sealed by the court after his parents were killed. I was like, after his parents were killed?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I was like, that's news to me already.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? This is the type of shit that pisses me off.
Yeah, it's a lot. This is an exposition dump.
It's so annoying.
In the third act.
Yeah. Actually, there's this one file that you never got to see.
This one time.
And if you can believe it.
It's a file once again.
It's a no from me, but continue.
She says after the governor heard about tonight's events, he allowed Dr. Rogers to open it. Loomis, again, he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Marion says it's unfair and they should have allowed Loomis to see everything. Then she says it. Laurie Strode is Michael Myers' sister.
No, she's not.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Well, let me get through this spiel.
I'm
and then
sorry. Go ahead.
We'll rip it apart. But
okay, good. Because, goddamn.
it's a yikes from me.
Yeah.
Marion says that she was born 2 years before Michael killed his sister Judith, and after their parents died, Laurie was adopted by the Strodes. The Strodes asked for the file to be sealed to protect the family. Loomis pieces it together. That's what he's doing back in Haddonfield. He killed one sister 15 years ago, and now he's coming back to kill the other one.
What?
Yeah.
So Laurie was 2.
Right.
Where the fuck was she?
People are saying that she must have been in the car with the Myers.
No, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't. She's like in a fucking car seat, and they're like, Michael.
Not,
And we crane out, but don't see her in the car.
not in fucking, what year would that have to be?
70. No, it was in the fucking 50s.
15 years before.
Yeah. Well,
You know that baby was fucking freeballing it on the dashboard, or she would have been. Stop it.
I forgot that Laurie Strode. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
You ever see Mad Men? They were playing in dry cleaning bags.
Yeah, they
and shit. That baby was not in a car seat in the back.
You ever seen Mad Men?
That's where I get my history from.
Yeah, me too. I don't know anything about the 60s except what Don Draper went through. But I gotta say, according to an interview with comicbook.com, Carpenter said that this sibling storyline all happened because of NBC. NBC bought the TV rights to Halloween, but the original film wasn't long enough, so they needed to add 8 minutes of reshoots. One of the scenes that he had to add was a carving in Michael's cell with the word sister carved into a door. That is where they got the launching off point to incorporate the sibling storyline into Halloween 2.
He murdered his sister.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One sister. He had one sister and he killed her.
Maybe he's feeling bad. Maybe that's why he took her tombstone. Maybe, you
I mean,
don't. It doesn't have anything to do with Laurie Strode, dude. And Carpenter said, "This is awful."
I'm glad.
Just let her be the girl that got away.
Yes.
That's it. That's enough motivation.
I think it's scary enough if it's just because she was the girl that dropped that off at the house.
Yeah.
And he saw, and then he's just obsessed.
That's it. Yeah.
But it makes no fucking sense that if he is only here to kill his sister, why did he go to the Wallace's house to kill Annie? Why is he fucking walking in like between alleyways, not eating dogs and killing a girl on the phone? Like, wouldn't he just go? He would be driven straight to the hospital.
Beeline. Yeah.
And then if he's a killing machine, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Why isn't he just killing fucking the Elrods?
ham sandwich lady.
Yeah.
I
believe that was her Christian name.
Yes. That's Mrs. Ham Sandwich.
To you. And so obviously the dream was her, by the way.
Yeah, which come the fuck. Okay, well, hold on. Who fucking took her to go see him?
The
woman that's like, I'm not your mother.
Yeah. The woman who had the files sealed with her husband.
But if you had the files sealed for the well-being of Laurie,
you would never.
Why would you be like, bitch, I'm not your mom? Like, that makes no sense.
That's what I was going to say. Why talk to her like that?
Makes no fucking sense.
Look, I know people who have adopted children and have been adopted. They would never in a million years say that shit to their kid. That was the cruelest thing I've ever heard.
It was awful. And then even if Dr. Loomis hadn't read that file, if he's the one taking care of Michael, wouldn't he be like, why is a child visiting him? Wouldn't he remember, a little girl from Haddon? I wonder if that's the same. Like, this is all fucking stupid. This is very dumb to me. I don't like it at all.
It's been retconned in David Gordon Green's Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that's not just because of, just a logical idea of it.
It makes no sense.
But because Carpenter was also on board with that film.
Okay.
So maybe he's like, I'll come, but fucking can that shit.
We need to fix something.
But the interesting thing is that this one, because he said that he wrote it drunk, Carpenter, this scene.
Yes.
And he said that, he hates it. He says it's awful. He actually called this film an abomination.
Wow.
And
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Is he Dr. Loomis?
No, he's us doing all the hyperbole. But it's nuts to me that the thing that he hates the most, which is Michael basically being driven by family, became one of the biggest things that the series is known for. Not just in this film, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I just knew. I was like, oh yeah, that's he came for his sister.
Even H2O.
Yes.
So I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I just accepted it as fact, and now that I'm older, I'm like, that makes no fucking sense. That makes no sense.
Like I said, I was like, wow, that's really fucking
You're like,
stupid.
Can we just get back to killing people?
Yeah.
Pretty much. I didn't enjoy that at all. And I was like, come on. Like you said, the file, I'm like, stop it.
And then the drawing.
Yeah.
The drawing's a lot. I think that's where they lost me. And also, I am not a big fan of the Samhain stuff.
You know what? Now that you're talking about it, that didn't even really sink in with me. I was just like, Dr. Loomis is just being Loomis. Well, it didn't even really.
Fucking Michael is going. He's either finding or drawing pictures, and then he's writing on the wall.
Sure.
Like I don't like that at all. And I get why Carpenter's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
He's like, this was written by my friend Jack Daniels. But this is when Loomis asks where Laurie was taken and finds out that she's at Haddonfield Memorial. He asks the marshal if he knows where the hospital is, and he does. He asks them to take them there, but the marshal says he can't because he has orders. This is when Loomis whips out his gun and puts it to the marshal's neck, telling him to turn the car around. When he refuses, Loomis is like, what do you fellas do? Fire a warning shot? Kapow!
Yeah.
He shoots out the window. And the marshal pulls the most violent U-turn I've ever seen.
Dr. Loomis always keep that thing on him.
Yeah,
that was so overkill.
Yeah. It was.
Shooting the window.
But is so in character for Halloween 2's Loomis. But back at the hospital, Laurie sits on the floor of the car still. She sees a shadow move across the front of the vehicle, and the driver's side door opens, and Jimmy sits down. He tries to start the car, and Laurie calls out to him. He's not frightened to see her.
I don't think he feels anything about anything.
That's fair. He looks at her, he tells her, he's like, look, everything's pizza, and we're going to get out of here.
What is he? He's concussed, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like he's fucked.
Yeah.
That's why I said everything's pizza slowly, because everything's pizza. But he goes to start the car again, and the engine sputters. Clearly concussed, his eyes flutter again. He says, I think, and then just passes out, his head hitting the steering wheel and causing the horn to blare into the night.
Way to fucking go, Jimmy.
Seriously. After quick shots of the entrances, Laurie pushes Jimmy back into the driver's seat and tries to start the car herself. When it's a total bust, she falls out of the car and just crawls on the ground. I'm like, what are you, the bride from Kill Bill?
I was just fixing to say that. Why did she go all Kill Bill? I was like,
I don't know. Use them sticks, Laurie. You were just doing it.
You were just walking,
I'm
dude.
so confused.
I'm telling you, it's very... Oh, we don't want to work right now.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I don't have an ankle. It's so weird.
But just then, the marshal's car pulls into the parking lot. Loomis asks the marshal if he can trust him because he might need his help inside. And he was going to fucking tie his hands.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to have to make you cuff yourself, so... But the marshal reluctantly agrees, and the three of them get out of the car. Laurie struggles to call out to them, but as soon as they get inside and the door closes, her voice returns and she screams, help me.
Very selective.
Yeah.
Now
she never had a problem with her voice before.
No.
I'm very confused by this. But once inside, Loomis directs traffic, telling the marshal, because he's in charge,
Yeah.
He tells the marshal to check all the rooms. When the marshal looks hesitant for a moment, Loomis whips out his gun and forcefully orders him. Marion is like, Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
And he says to her, he's like, you come with me and shut up.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a little out of line, Sam.
The gator ain't fucking around.
Gator don't play that shit.
But in the parking lot, Laurie makes it to her feet and limps for the door. So her ankle's like, all right, I'm back.
Yeah.
Off in the distance, the shape appears under a red light. Great shot.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Halloween theme starts to play and he slowly approaches. Laurie bangs on the door, screaming for help in a sequence very reminiscent of the first film.
Yeah.
And Loomis is able to open the door to let her inside just in time. They cower into the hall with Marion as Loomis again draws his gun. The shape fucking Kool-Aid Man's through the glass.
I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
He's like, really, a fucking door? You think this is going to do anything?
It makes me laugh because, like, he's opened so many doors tonight.
Yeah.
Why hasn't he just been doing this?
He's showing out. He's showing out.
Like, this is my last hurrah.
Yeah. He's like, this guy really has it out for me.
Oh, yeah.
I need to scare him a little bit more.
But as the glass shatters, the music goes crazy. As it should, because it's like, holy shit. But Loomis puts 4 rounds into Michael's chest and he collapses to the floor, seemingly dead. The marshal approaches, but Loomis tells him to stop. He's like, he is still breathing. So the marshal backs off, and then Loomis orders Marion to radio in to Hunt. The marshal's like, but that's my radio.
Yeah.
Shut up.
No shit.
Now is not the time. You go get a net. Someone put a net over
Good
this
Lord.
fucking dude.
Thankfully, he remembers that Loomis does keep that thing on him.
Yes.
And he's like, no, go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's
like,
fine.
You got it, boss.
My radio is your radio.
But as Loomis comforts Laurie, the marshal leans down to check on Michael against Loomis's protests, and of course, Michael springs back to life, grabbing the marshal and slitting his throat.
Said, psych.
Yep. He tried to tell you.
He did. And
Get
you
away.
had no reason to be all in his face like you're about to give him mouth to
And
mouth.
you just seen this dude crash through the door.
Yes. And even if he's dead, I'm sorry. Fuck him.
No,
Who gives a shit?
no.
You don't even know that dude.
No.
Yeah.
But Michael rises up once again in pursuit of Loomis and Laurie, who run off down an adjacent hallway. They find a surgery suite, not the one that Olives was in.
No.
No. And they hide in there. Outside, Marion radios in, telling them that they've found Michael Myers and to get their asses down here. Inside the suite, Loomis keeps watch at the window and Laurie backs into the corner and sinks to the floor. Once Michael enters the next room and starts banging on the door of the surgery suite, Loomis hands Laurie what I'm assuming is the marshal's gun.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess he grabbed it on his way out and he's like, you won't be needing this.
He won't.
But Laurie won't take it, and so he sets it at her feet. Michael breaks down the door and Loomis readies his gun. He points it in Michael's face and click. He's out. Michael stabs Loomis in the stomach with a scalpel and he collapses into surgical equipment.
No!
I did read that Donald Pleasance did that stunt himself.
Damn.
Nice.
I was like, God damn, dude, you're...
Yeah.
God damn.
You did that shit.
Mm-hmm. But Michael then sets his sight on Laurie. As he begins to advance on her, she calls out his name and he stops for a moment, tilting his head before continuing on.
We love the head tilt.
Of course.
Yeah.
This is when Laurie grabs the gun, shooting him twice, once in each of his eyes. He grabs for his face as blood runs down the eye holes of his mask.
Poor Mike, man.
Poor Mike.
Poor Mike.
He's all blind and shit now. He's just,
Well, I mean, you got to slow him down somehow. He's fucking
just
walking
trying to
through
talk
doors.
to his sister. He's just
He-
trying to
That's
figure
not his
out-
sister.
And he's like, there's two problems with that sentence.
well,
Okay.
Hold on.
No, you're right. He just wants to talk to her.
You're still
Again,
wrong.
it's still not good. Yeah. I just want to call out the great visual of the blood running down the mask.
Yes. Yeah.
That looks very cool.
Oh, yeah.
I think I read that they had like a blood pack in the forehead of the mask,
That makes sense.
and then they had it run down. It's well done.
Yeah. I don't know exactly when it is, if it's when she's talking to him or when she shoots him, but Dr. Loomis is like on the ground still and he peeks over at them. Like it's almost like he was playing dead. I don't know. It was
Well,
really funny to me.
He learned from the best.
Yeah.
God damn.
He's like, what's going
What's
on? Like
that now?
it just looked really funny.
But Michael is shot in both his eyes. Remember this.
Yes.
But he just staggers back, covering his eyes and swinging his scalpel blindly. I love this, first of all, because the sound, it almost sounds like the gun blade on Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
But Dick Warlock hates this.
Why?
I don't know. He said that I think he called it stupid.
Well, he probably got bullied for doing it. So.
Yeah. Deborah Hill's like, I can't believe he swung like that. But he says people come up to him at conventions and say that's their favorite part, and he's like, I hate it. I'm like, why?
That bums me out because I think it's
I
good.
think it's great.
Yeah.
But Loomis, as we've determined, still alive, is able to twist the valve on a canister of ether, filling the room with flammable gas. Laurie does the same thing on her side of the room as Michael continues to swing at nothing.
He's like, what the fuck is going on?
You guys farting in here? Trying to kill you. What the fuck?
It's fucking rude.
But Loomis whispers to himself that Michael is an animal and yells for Laurie to get out. She rushes for the door, running into the hallway outside. Loomis pulls Hunt's lighter from his jacket and says, "It's time, Michael." He lights the lighter, exploding the room with him and Michael inside, the blast sending flames and debris into the hallway.
Pour one out for Dr. Loomis.
He's a real one.
That was so sad.
He didn't do that stunt.
Good.
We're sad to see him go, but honestly, if you're thinking about it as like a conclusion, it's brilliant.
Yeah. And he went out with a bang.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like
a blaze of glory.
Yeah. He exploded.
He is, yes. He's in several pieces. I feel bad saying that because I love Dr.
I
Loomis
do
so
too.
much. We should cut that. But Laurie cowers behind equipment as the fire rages behind her. Through the flames, we see the shape engulfed in fire, marching toward Laurie before collapsing to the ground.
I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me?
I was like, Jesus, like, there's no way.
What did I do? What the fuck?
Now, before all we had was a Michael Myers. Now we have a flaming
Yeah.
Michael Myers. We're fucked.
The crazy thing is that this was also Dick Warlock.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
nice.
Yeah, he was the stunt coordinator for the film on top of playing Michael Myers.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, you said he was a stuntman.
Mm-hmm.
That, God damn.
And I think he said they filmed this twice. The first,
I bet that was fun.
oh yeah, he burned himself. This is obvious, but he burned himself only because the sleeves were connected by a zipper. Mm-hmm. And so where the zipper was,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
it heated up very, very hot.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
It's on fire.
Yeah, it was very warm.
It got a little toasty.
Yeah, so he said that he burned his forearms, but outside of that, he was fine.
Jeez.
But in a very tight shot, we see his mask burn. That morning, the police sort through the mess of a scene, counting 10 bodies so far in their search. The media, of course, surrounds Laurie, who Marion is pushing in a wheelchair toward an ambulance. An EMT helps her into the ambulance, sidebar, a newsman is like, she's now being assisted out of the wheelchair into the ambulance. I'm like, calm down. Good Lord.
The play-by-play.
Yeah, it's a lot. But once Laurie's inside the ambulance, they drive away through the fog of the Haddonfield morning. Inside the ambulance, Laurie stares off, Michael's flaming mask burning forever into her memory. Before I ask the customary question, I do want to call out the original ending of the film, which was behind Laurie in the ambulance. You see a body covered in a sheet lurch up like Michael Myers.
Oh, shit.
And when she's just fucking frightened, the sheet falls down and it's Jimmy.
No.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That was the original ending.
That's
And
like
then-
funny.
yeah, I'm like, what? But Rick Rosenthal sent it to them with that ending, and then when he saw it for the first time, he saw it ended with the mask and Laurie, and he's like, oh, I guess they changed it. It's like, yeah,
Oh, wow.
of course. He didn't know. But they're like, yeah, Rick, we'll do that. We're fucking cutting that, right?
You guys all hate
Don't
that,
do it,
right?
don't do it.
Yeah. Everyone hates that ending, right?
The burning mask is infinitely
it's
better.
great. And of course, Mr. Sandman
I was
begins to
gonna
play.
say
Yeah.
with the music.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But as that music plays, the credits roll. So, what did you guys think of Halloween 2?
I know I said it at the beginning, and I'll say it again. I really enjoyed this movie. I know there's a lot of problems with it, and the whole brother-sister thing was really stupid, and some of the stuff didn't make sense, and you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think I enjoy this version of Michael Myers. Not giving a shit, you see me or not, I'm going to kill everybody here. So go somewhere else.
Oh yeah, he's
You know what
not.
I mean?
He's not hiding behind bushes.
No,
in this
oh no, he
Not
doesn't
at
give
all.
a fuck. Yeah.
No.
He's not stealing cars and sitting off in the distance. He's like, I'm here. You're
It's like,
dead.
I already started.
Yeah. I already killed your friend. Yeah.
This Michael would have just killed him in broad daylight.
Yeah.
Like, I have opinions, but of course, I asked the question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, I agree. I feel like you can even chalk that up to, yeah, he's more emboldened because, you know, he already did the stealthy shit and now it's go time and he didn't finish. So now he's going to finish and he doesn't give a fuck. I can even almost forgive that as a kind of ramping up situation. The humor was kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, I know there was some humor in Halloween, but it felt very different than what we got in Halloween 2.
That is true.
I didn't care about anybody, with the exception of Bud. He was funny, but you know, you care about her friends, or her friends kind of have personalities. You have Jimmy the fucking creeper. You have these nurses that are pretty fucking interchangeable, except you see one of their tits. It's the only difference. I mean, I don't.
Well, you see both of them.
I didn't know. You see one nurse's both tits. I just didn't care about any of them, with the exception of how they treated Mrs. Alves because she was trying to do her job.
Yeah.
If this were the ending, which I know it was supposed to be, I feel like it would have been a good ending. I mean, continuing it right from where the first one left off and having this just be one fucking awful night. It's a decent slasher and it's a good sequel if you ignore, you know, stupid shit like her selective injuries and the wig.
Yeah. That's harder to ignore.
Yeah.
It's harder to ignore. The one thing that I have no excuse for and I just can't get past is the sibling thing.
Yeah.
That's the one. Everything else I'm like, okay, but you know, it's fine.
Right.
That nicked it for me. But go ahead.
No, I agree. I feel like, I mean, it's difficult because to me, of course, this is not a perfect film.
No, but it's fun.
That's the thing, is that it is very fun.
Yeah.
It's because of that double feature, it's going to be one that I watch forever.
For sure.
Like, it's never falling out of my rotation as long as I've got to say about it.
All right.
I don't know. Why am I getting
You
defensive?
can take it out of my cold dead hands.
I'm just holding a Blu-ray. But I think, I mean, it's funny to me because the thing that JP made you like it more made me like it less. Because this is hashtag not my Michael.
Well, no, yeah.
You know, like, I like the suspense, the slinking, the shadow. And while there is some of that, I just feel like he really became like your standard slasher villain.
Right.
And he did.
And I
Yeah.
much prefer that. Maybe I feel like there was like a classiness to Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Halloween 2 was like, you remember that classy thing we did?
He felt more like a mystery.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
first
for
one.
sure.
And now, like I said, in this
Just
one,
a killing machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
just, I don't give a fuck. He's just walking on sunshine, killing people.
You say again,
Walking-
walking
I
on
mean, he
sunshine.
didn't give a fuck.
No.
No, he didn't.
And you're so right about the mystery aspect, because in this one they're like, we're cracking open secret files.
Yeah.
We're-
Yes.
yeah, like we're telling your whole goddamn
Yeah.
story. It's just, and it's the thing, and I hate to always bring this up, but it's the thing about Rob Zombie's Halloween that pisses me off. The mystery is way scarier than any story you can tell.
Yeah.
Yoblins had a great quote where he said Halloween was more about the theater of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you think could, has, or did happen
Yeah.
is way scarier than me showing everything to you.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's where, when it comes to suspense and slashers, I'm way more Halloween 78.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. I still feel like it's fun. And like I said, I feel like you can read it as the hunt's over. Now I'm coming to finish it.
Right.
Like I did the slinky shit. I did the hiding shit.
Well, he's
you
like
know
that.
I'm here.
He's like, that didn't work.
That
Right.
didn't work.
It's like, it's too late. You've
Now-
seen me.
Yeah.
You come.
Now
Take
we're
two.
Kool-Aid Manning through doors. I no longer give a fuck.
Right.
And we've all had those days.
Where we've But I guess that brings us to ratings. I feel like on the positive side, stylistically, it feels like Carpenter in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Dean Cundy with these really neat shots. The lighting is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
This movie has really great
it
lighting.
looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do enjoy, like, they do have the, milder, quiet, suspenseful moments
Right.
that feel like the first film.
Mm-hmm.
I think any film you get Loomis, Strode, and Myers together, I'm
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would say that Dr. Loomis is like the shining star
Absolutely is.
in this entire movie.
He should. Is he top bill in this? Because if he's not, he should have been.
If I'm not mistaken, when I saw the opening credits, their names are put together, but I think Jamie Lee Curtis's name is slightly higher than his.
Well, he was the star.
Yeah, he was.
For
Yeah.
me, he was.
But that leads me to my negatives, which is the handling of Laurie Strode's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bud was funny and all, but I could give two fucks about the hospital staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. None of them. Yeah.
Like, I care so much about Laurie and what she's going through. She's been through a lot. She was our final girl.
Right.
She was. And to piggyback on that, she's just passive the whole film.
Yeah.
She's
Sometimes
laying in a
just-
bed. She's stumbling around. She gets saved by Dr. Loomis.
She's sleeping.
She's
Like, I can't. It really bothers me. And you get Jamie Lee Curtis back,
Right.
user.
and she,
But-
from what I heard, she was excited to be back.
Yeah.
And this is what you did?
She's like,
Yeah.
I'm in bed for most of
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'll do that. Fuck. Easiest work of my life. But I also am very disheartened by the attempt to copy the people who copied Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like it would have been way better, and it would have been more of like a, you know what, this is our style. This is what Halloween is.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys can do what you like, and it's good, but that's not Halloween for,
Right.
the sibling bit.
Yeah.
That's if you listen to last week, that's the bird
Yeah.
of this film for me, and it really, really, really is not. It does not work for me.
Mm-mm.
And again, it's just it's not my Michael. But I do love this film. I will watch it in a couple months when it's Halloween again.
Yeah.
And I do my double feature. I hope Carpenter's not mad at me for watching it. But all of that to say, out of 10 of the bloodiest eyes, we did blackest eyes last time,
Yeah.
And now they're bloody.
I'm going to give Halloween 2 7.5 of the bloodiest eyes out of 10. I gave the original Halloween a 10.
Mm-hmm.
This one for me, it has a lot of its DNA, but then it really, really, really did some things that don't sit right with me.
Yeah.
Right.
But I will now open the floor to you.
So I know I said that I like this one maybe a little better than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I do.
I thought you were going to change your mind. I don't know. I don't know what that was about.
Well, I do understand what you mean with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I did say that it sucks that they had to compete and copy what was going on. But I think the fun this movie is, and then him just like fucking everybody up. I was like, this is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that it just appeals to the slasher fan in me. I don't,
Right.
And that helped with giving the hospital workers like not really giving a shit about them
Because you don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Who
They're
cares?
just the body count.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that whole group, you're
Fuck 'em.
dead. Yeah, you're gone. And then he didn't eat any puppies in this movie. So I was
that's
like,
a point
yes.
on its own.
I was like, thank you.
I allowed myself to look over that because I was like, well, Loomis was really just speculating, right?
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
proof.
We
Yeah.
never saw him chew the dog.
Right.
But continue. I'm sorry.
No, but and Loomis too. God damn, he's great.
He's
Oh,
so
yeah.
He's just fucking straight turned up, and he's just there action, and he's fucking 6 times.
No,
It's like,
he's
yes.
ready to go.
It's amazing.
Right? Tell him again.
Yes.
Fuck. There is a lot of problems. The sibling bit is really stupid. I won't even lie. That like I said, when I seen when the dream sequence happened or whatever, I was like, that's fucking dumb. I was like, you could have cut all that shit out.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't need any of that. There is things that are dumb, but I feel like the movie is so fun. I can overlook that. And I didn't watch it as much as you guys did.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you are right that that's all everybody says. Oh, he's trying to kill his sister and he's this and that.
Yeah.
But watching this now, I'm like, if that's what you went with, that's dumb. Because that makes no sense. That's leaving her as the one who got away is enough. That's
Yeah.
enough motivation.
is.
And like you said, that's scarier.
Way
So
scarier.
You don't get it's not like, well, he has a drive. He wants to kill his family. No, you're just some random girl that he didn't get to finish the job with. Now I have to kill you. Look at all these people that I killed trying to get to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fixing to fuck you up. That's it.
And she was 2 when he left. Why does he want to kill a
what
baby?
does it matter?
I don't know,
yeah,
dude.
that's
So
dumb.
confused.
And how do you even know what she looks like now?
So that's my.
Oh, man.
I think that's my thing. Is that I think what they're trying to do with the Samhain stuff is to say that Michael Myers is basically evil, like reborn in some way.
So his
that
parents
he's
were
almost-
evil. His
I don't-
parents were witches bad witches. And,
Yeah.
Sorry. And you know what I mean?
I don't know if it's supposed to be like witchcraft to where he's drawn to her.
Right.
And I know it's kind of something that they explore later in the franchise, but I just, I prefer.
Yeah.
And it's scarier because anybody could walk by a house.
Yeah, it could have
Yeah.
been anyone.
You know what? I'm not Michael Myers' brother, so I got shit to worry
yeah,
about.
I'm fine.
Woo, sweet.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I understand
Yeah.
the difference from the first and the second one, but I did enjoy him just fucking everybody up. I was like, you go. That's right. Stab another one.
So you're rooting for him at this point.
Yeah, I was like, go ahead. You go on.
Because you don't care about the
Well,
characters.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about this cast. Kill them all. As long as Laurie is alive,
Uh-huh.
we're fine. And the ending, that was the greatest shit in the world. I was like, you should stop right there.
That was a great
That's it.
finale.
It was,
Yeah,
if they
that's
would have
it.
left it alone, that
Burning
would have been
face,
great.
Sandman going on. Fucking thank you, dude.
Yes.
So for that, I have to give Halloween 2 on a scale from 1 to 10, the bloodiest eyes. I'm going to give Halloween 2 an 8.5 bloodiest eyes.
Wow.
I just want to see him kill people. I don't know why.
I wasn't expecting
No,
that.
not at all.
I prefer to watch him kill people than Jason. And I'm sorry, people who like Jason, and there's nothing wrong with it, but me,
No.
No.
I would rather watch Michael Myers destroy a whole town. And I just have a glass of wine and I'm like, good for him.
Glass of wine.
A glass
Yeah.
of wine.
off.
Nobody does it like him.
No.
Well, I mean, I think I already gave my whole spiel.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a really fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't look too close,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have the same charm as the original.
No, it doesn't.
And you can kind of feel that this wasn't born out of love
No.
like the first one was. But yeah, we don't need to talk about the wig. We don't need to talk about the sibling situation. We don't need to go all through that again. But I came away with the same.
Oh.
On a scale from 1 to 10 of the bloodiest eyes, I also gave Halloween 2 7.5. I was torn between a 7 and a 7.5, but hearing John Paul talk about the kills it was fun.
We had a blast.
But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad movie. The sibling thing, it just really fucks it up for me.
It is stupid. You didn't need to do that.
No. Because I feel like it bothers me so much because it undermines the first one.
Yeah.
Like if I were to take that to heart, when I rewatch the first one, I'm watching it differently, and I don't. It's not better.
No.
It doesn't make the first one better.
Leave her the final girl.
Yeah.
We don't need all the sibling shit. And this second movie plays fine.
Yes.
It's fine.
Just cut out the scene.
You don't need that.
It would probably be at least an 8 for me, if not for that. Maybe an 8.5. But that hurts it too much for me.
Yeah.
It would definitely go up.
Yeah, like exponentially. But that's a huge fucking mistake. Like it's really bad.
But I think one thing that we can agree, even though we love John Carpenter and Deborah Hill immensely, this film was not an abomination.
No. Calm down.
Well, that's all from us at Pod Mortem. What would you rate Halloween 2, and what should we watch next? Let us know on Twitter at the Pod Mortem. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook. Be sure to follow each of us on Twitter at TravisMWH, at Blood and Smoke, and at RealStreeter84. Please consider pledging to our Patreon and stay tuned until after the music for a special thank you to our Wendigo Getter patrons. And remember, if you have no knowledge of a situation, maybe it would be wise to trust the experts. Until next time. Thank you for staying tuned until after the music. We want to give a very special thank you to all of our Wendigo Getter patrons.
Hey. Bum, 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 bum.
You'll love to hear it. Special thank you to Chris Ontiveros, Kristen Lofton, Megan Martinez, Kimberly Bass, Melanie Van Houston, Sophie Hodson, Anthony Jerome M., Jordan Nash, Kent and Allison O'Morton, Guy54, Lala Thomas, Travis and Nisa Hunter, Miguel Myers ATX, Mandy, Jennifer Perez, Pierre Lombard, Carissa, TJ Bronson, Gabrielle Trevino, Spooky Mom, Andy Teague, Applin Ontiveros, Karima Rhodes, Antonio Huerta, Kimberly Kleindienst, Will Brown, and Linda. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
That's right, folks. We thanked you 6 times.
Like Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
But
right.
He shot him.
That's different.
Right, but we're thanking them.
It's much better.
Right.
Until next time.